Thank you.
So now you can do that hard thing that you just did with your hands, Milo.
What? What did I do?
I thought you did a hard thing with your hands.
Did I?
I thought you did, or I'm just stupid and I imagine things.
Oh, I don't know. All I know is my headset died, and then I was like, oh shit. Oh, I need to mute your stream. That is... Hang on. Okay, now that I'm not hearing the conversation anymore that we just had, fantastic. I can think. Okay. So, it's time for D&D, at least ostensibly. So, does any brave soul for the brave prize of inspiration? Why did I call the prize brave? Okay, so apparently that's the wavelength we're on tonight. Apparently it's stupid juice struggle night for your DM, so, you know, if I can't think of words, bear with me. Does any brave soul want to give a recap for the wonderful prize of inspiration?
I already got 2 of those.
Dang, that is right. Okay, you don't need any more. If only someone had a recap. Oh wait, I saw a hand. I saw the hand went back down, but I saw a hand. I'm like a teacher.
Yes,
I will pounce on any ounce of up you give me.
My summary was Evect is a menace.
Perfect.
Accurate.
Not entirely wrong.
Because I believe we went to... we picked up after the Flump interaction and went to a tavern for the night. And there was a little bit of splitting off. Ega and
Finn, thank you. I was trying to remember which character it was. I have TLDR at the ready, but I felt like not interrupting.
Had a nice little heart-to-heart that I don't think any of us really have gotten to hear about.
Just backstory.
Evect managed to win a little bit in gambling. James managed to regale a group with his daring tales of adventure. And then Evect sat down to join the storytelling group and apparently stirred the pot.
You called someone's mother an ogre.
I said no such thing. I just made implications.
Yeah, sure. You believe whatever you want, buddy.
You can go to the playback. Your mother's an ogre.
He's right.
Was
he
never
didn't
uttered.
See, I'm just surprised that no one caught that later on he mentioned that his mother's name was Ogre, and I thought that was funny, and no one caught it, and I was immensely disappointed.
I caught it.
Okay, fine. It just wasn't that
I caught
funny,
it. I chuckled.
Okay.
I chuckled, but we were in the middle of things.
I know. I'm just being a tease. Okay. Okay. Yes.
And
so
then we all passed out.
Basically, yeah. Y'all went, all right, we just beat up some bitches in a bar. Guess we're gonna go sleep now.
Pointedly, Finn did not join the bar fight.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Her dog made...
Their dog.
Their dog made a token effort to assist that never actually helped Evect. I think it helped James once.
Wow, I wonder why it might not have helped Evect. I wonder why that might have happened. I wonder why the
It
dog...
tried to help, but he didn't need the help that the dog could offer.
More so, I'm referencing other events that occurred earlier in the evening.
Finn's not vengeful.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, long story short, the dog almost drank ale, but He didn't, because he was smarter than the humanoids. So
definitely smarter than the orc.
The short version of Evect is a menace, pretty damn accurate.
Actually, yeah. When I think about that, honestly, the level of fucker, pretty correct. All right. Any other additions to the recap? Any other things that have been forgotten? That I've probably forgotten. I think that's pretty good.
We all got our own rooms, right?
You did. All of you got your own rooms. You're all like, all right, fuck y'all. I'm rooming by myself.
So, what kind of got skipped over was that after the Flump interaction, we went to the house with Rixt and his mother, had a talk there about what happened, and then Rick's mother started shouting at Rixt about all the dumb shit he had done.
Oh yeah, we tattled on him, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mostly
because y'all tattled on a child.
We mean Ega.
Look, all I said was I kind of
yeah.
slapped him out cold with my sword, so I kind of had to say I'm sorry. But yeah, that happened. We went back to Ancaster, and yeah, then Evect was a menace by leading us around the same block at least 5 times, saying, "Hey, look at those melons."
So basically, the E characters are a menace, and everyone else is like,
wow, I'm a menace? I showed restraint by not killing that pigeon.
Wow.
okay, so far, if your whole shtick is, I showed restraint by not killing this thing. I showed restraint by not killing this child. I showed restraint by not killing myself by bashing my head on a rock in the game. I showed restraint by not murdering a pigeon. You see how this, Okay. I feel like I've made my point. Anyway.
I think you have.
So. Are all of you ready for the Duranders? Any other questions, comments, concerns, things?
Just as a reminder, we will be at some point, I will give as much notice as I can, but it's my ex, stepping out for about 10 minutes for a holiday tradition with Bug.
No worries.
8:30 at the latest.
Sounds good.
My guess is it'll be 8:30.
Sounds good.
So in about 2 hours.
Okay. 8:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. In about 2 hours.
That is no worries by me. If I have but one humble request for all of you, it's that we could make that like a general break time. So like if at 8:10 you're like, I could pee, but I could wait. You could wait, then we could all go. Cool. If that's fair. So, only other thing I'll mention is that, just so that you all know, like, we are switching to every other week starting in the new year. So after this session, our next session is going to be on the 5th, which is a, like, departure from our 2nd and 4th schedule. So, mark your calendars for the 5th, 6 p.m. MST is happening. I'll try and make a post well enough in advance, but don't forget. Try not to forget.
I think it actually officially changes it. I think because
starting now.
I think it officially changes it to every 1st and 3rd, generally speaking.
Yes.
We won't have a 2nd and 4th for quite a while.
Yes. So that will be roughly the split. Assuming everyone is still okay with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. In March, it's going to be the 1st, 3rd, and 5th.
Wunderbar. All right. So, all of you are able to awakens in the tavern after hopefully a restful night of sleep. You all wake up in your own rooms, presumably at a regular time of the morning.
Oh, shoot. Forgot to roll.
Good point. So, I'm going to say that presumably all of you would at one point or another arise, do whatever it is you people do in the morning, and make your way down to the common room to meet up with your fellow gang. Does anyone have anything in particular that they would like to do in the morning? Anyone they want to talk to? Go slobber on.
Anything I need to do? I asked where someone who works with magic tools is, and they're not this town, are they?
No.
Max.
They would be probably best found in the next town. Would be an excellent
then,
place to find such a thing.
I don't have anything left here to do then.
So
I am eating another chicken testicle.
Okay.
I don't learn
Roll
my
me a luck
lessons.
check.
No, you do not.
That's a 7.
A 7. Okay. The chicken testicle goes down, you know. You've tasted better. It's a little tough, not gonna lie. Feeling you might not feel too good maybe sometime later, but for now, you know, you're good. You're fine. You're chilling. The rest of you want to eat breakfast. The tavern probably has some kind of breakfast. Fanksy probably has some kind of eggs and oatmeal kind of sitch, because honestly, I can't think of another weird breakfast to invent. So,
bread, sausage, and beans.
Sausage and beans. That's a good one. There's sausage and beans. I don't know. I'm running out of like medieval foods here. I can't be like, all right, for breakfast you can have a McChicken and a Sprite.
That's why.
They got the McDonald's Sprite.
That's why I mentioned British cuisine. That's outdated.
Yep. Modern British cuisine, ancestral breakfast, medieval breakfast. You know what I mean?
In all seriousness, British cuisine, at least for breakfast, is pretty good.
Oh, it's not bad. It's like more on the savory side as opposed to America, which is like, do you want some sugar with your sugar?
Yeah. But it is filling.
True.
And their tea is quite sweet.
Oh, yeah. That's why I don't take my tea with sugar. I can't do it.
Oh, I
anyway.
Definitely do.
Those of you who would like to buy breakfast can probably cost, like, you know... I think if you paid for a room, you probably paid for room and board. I'm not going to worry about charging you people for breakfast. It's simply just not a concern. If you feel strongly that you didn't pay for food when you would have bought a room, you can take a couple silver out of your inventory. They charge reasonable prices here on this side of town. So, aside from that, you all are able to sit and eat, well, you know, for some of you, actual food, and for some of you, foul genitalia. Fat chicken, foul, I guess, is it, fine, you know what I mean.
I was muted, I did a badoom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, as your DM, you all can discuss whatever you would like to do next. But I believe that generally, you all are headed along the way to Marinshire. So, you all will have to go to the east side of the city. Yes, east. Yes, east side of the city. Thank you, Asa. The east side of the city to head to Marinshire. And I've probably quoted some sort of travel time at you people before. It's probably about a day and a half travel on foot. Shorter if you would like to hitch a ride of some type.
I don't know what rides would be available.
Generally, like,
horses to rent.
If you all wanted to rent horses, you certainly could. There could be a very convenient mount renting service in towns, who knows? Aside from that, you could also see if you could hitch a ride on a cart. It's, at least to be honest, I've always imagined travel like to some extent to sort of be like when you get out of like a concert at like the Pepsi Center that's called something stupid now, and then they have like all the people with like the bike rickshaw things, and they're like, oh, you want to ride with me?
I should roll
maybe
better
not
for
that
luck
crazy.
next time.
No, I think it's called like the ball centers. I don't even know.
Honestly, things change their name like every 2 years anymore.
The ball arena. Yay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but you mean
Coors Field will always be Coors Field.
Yeah, you mean things like the wagons with the horses strapped to the front, basically saying, "Hey, we're heading this way."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in essence, like, because if you generally headed to like, you know, like especially in a big city like this. Now in smaller towns, like more, you probably have to go like find someone to like talk to and be like, hey, you know, if you're around here, can I hitch a ride? In like one of the largest cities in the world, if you head to the gate, you can probably find transport. However, if you all did want to rent horses or something like that, that would also be an option. You could also go on foot if you preferred.
I think Finn would see about finding horse rental. Or at least would suggest that to the group. I don't see why we need to waste our time walking there if we can find horses or other rides to get there.
Horse or wagon? Maybe cow.
Cows don't generally care to have something on their back. Nor do they care to go where you ask them to.
Right, cow go in circle.
Potentially. They're not really meant to be animals for transportation of beings.
Dolphin, I think I do know how to ride a horse, yes.
I'm not
I've ridden a horse before. It was very bumpy and difficult.
So, yeah.
I lied. I do. I'm not sure Finn does. Although, yeah, they probably learned that when they were... after they ran off. Yeah, they probably did.
For the purposes of this, although I may make you all make a perfunctory animal handling check or two, I know, then I saw the eyebrow raise and I'm like, well, if I do that, then someone's gonna fail and someone's gonna fall off their horse and die.
Oh, die? That's a bit more extreme. I thought I was just gonna sit on the horse backwards.
Well...
See that?
That could just happen anyway with your
How stupid do you look
turn.
writing this voice check?
It'll actually be just a performance check to see how majestically you ride the horse. Advantage with the billowing cloak. Anyway, so I'm hearing a general consensus that the group wishes to proceed to horse procuring whatnot.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
wonderful.
Dolphin, if my numbers are right, a horse is about 4 horsepower, ironically.
If one of you will roll me just a, you know, you can do this as a group or, you know, pick someone and hope that they succeed, whatever you want to do, but roll me, probably more is better, some investigation checks to go find a stable or some such. I would also allow if anyone is from Ancaster or like has lived here before
Nat 20
extensively. Like a nat 20?
Nat 20. Sure, it goes with a sure, it's only an 8. It's only an 18 in the end, but it's a nat 20.
It's all
now because that's just too entertaining to see you narrate through.
So, all right, guys. I mean, you know, I think I got this. So you all, you know, sit around at breakfast, a bit quietly, you know, and you discuss your plans for what to do. You know, y'all heading to Mayor and Sure and all that. And you sort of come to the consensus, like, let's check out the horse rental and see what's up with that. At which point, Ega stands up from the table and says something along the lines of, I smell, follow. So Ega then walks out the door and is essentially just doing this. It just is turning his head and sniffing. And then we'll just sort of stop and go. And then head down an alleyway. And you all follow Ega along, presumably, unless anyone doesn't follow Ega. Cool.
Finn is intrigued.
Along this trail of smell.
Which is absolutely horse shit, by the way.
That's what I'm smelling. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those of you who are observant might notice that as you follow Ega down this path, you might even begin catching whiffs of indeed horse shit. Maybe see a nice steaming pile or two if they've been walked around recently. And eventually, Ega, through the power of sniffing, leads you all to indeed a stable. It's essentially like a city stable. So if you've ever lived in Colorado and seen the horse farms with the massive pastures and the whatnot and all the horse girls and the whatever. Horse girls still exist in this universe because horse girls are a fundamental constant that exists across all dimensions, and I will not be persuaded otherwise.
Be clear, we're talking about girls who like and take care of horses, not
centaurs. Yes.
Yes. Sorry. Horse girls, as in the girls that really like horses. The centaur thing, I don't know. I don't think we have centaurs in our dimension, so I'm gonna have to say no. Now, girls who think they are horses.
Wait, I forgot the name of them. Satyrs, that's it.
That's goats.
Well, close. It's half centaur.
No,
they're probably satyrs.
Well, yes, I guess it is half centaur because humans are.
There's. Okay, I'm gonna go back to D&D in a second. But if you took a centaur and you lopped off the back half of the horse of the centaur, would it make a satyr? I feel like that wouldn't physics.
Sort of, but absolutely the legs are shaped differently because on a satyr they're bent backwards, on a horse they're bent forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, internally it wouldn't work?
Yeah, depends on what's on the inside of the lower body of the horse.
Theoretically, you have to assume that the horse would survive.
Cut through of what does a centaur look like?
Okay, but you guys are missing the obvious thing that it wouldn't work because centaurs are obviously insects.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, they're insects.
They have 6 limbs.
Oh, because they have 6 legs.
Well,
I mean, technically they have 4 legs and 2 arms.
Limbs.
They have 6 limbs.
But
I have an entomologist who would probably fight you on that, but I'm happy with this classification. Okay, let me violently mentally rewind. Centaur mutilation, satyr, goat, horse girls, horses, stable, city stable. Okay.
Yes, city stable that I found by Snell.
Mental health isn't.
Wait, what did you say, Evan?
Stable, like our mental health isn't.
Ah, exactly. Ooh, we're all mentally ill.
Hey, you can say you can't guarantee that. I don't have a classification yet.
Yeah. That's because you won't go to. Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Stable.
So, stable. So this is very much like a city stable. I don't know how to explain it other than it's mostly like a building. There's probably a little area outside that the horses can walk around in. That has some bales of hay and such. You also might see some of the horses just being walked around the nearby area. but mostly like, you know, it's sort of like a, you know, one of the big, a barn. That's the building with the horses and the stalls and the hay.
Yes.
A barn. That's a barn. A barn. You see a barn.
Aga's gonna do a triumphant ta-da that he actually found it.
In the background here, da da da, or something like I'm trying to remember. Why can't I? Thank you. I was like, why can't I remember the Final Fantasy noise when I need it? I've heard it so many times. Anyway. Yes. Mysterious fanfare plays from the background. Aga tries to shoot it. I'm kidding, okay? Retcon, that doesn't happen.
Don't make me roll.
That's what I see. I can't give you guys like a laugh track because that's what would happen. You guys would try and fucking murder it.
Anyway. One wouldn't.
At least one of you would. Sorry. And then everyone has a problem. Wow, that should be like that would be like the slogan of this group. Someone would, and then everyone has a problem. Myra, save that for later. Anyway, so Ega has led you all through the magnificent powers of his nose and smelling horseshit, not convincing himself probably that he's not a dog better, but you know, it's all right.
I know I'm not a dog because I walk on my hind legs.
Yes, good job.
Oh, taking him to a circus would be so fun.
And notes for later.
They love constructs at circuses.
Constructs don't bleed.
Oh god. Anyway.
Dog to show you that again.
Yeah. Wait until this. Anyway. So there's a barn. And you all stand outside of the barn. You can smell the delightful smell of horse shit. You see a variety of horses. A lot of them appear to be everyday fucking horses, mares and geldings and whatnot. There's other kinds of horses. They have lots of fancy names. Stallions are the real big boys. So do you all enter the barn?
Yes.
All right. As you do so, the smell of horseshit gets pretty overpowering. I mean, you know, if you've ever been in a barn, it smells like a barn. And there is a rather large, burly orc who appears to be quite tenderly brushing the mane of one of the mares. As you all walk in, he turns around and gives you a wave. Hello, how are you all doing today?
Hello, I smelled poo.
Well, there certainly is a bit of that to go around here. Suffice it to say, you get used to the smell. I used to have to put a clothespin on my nose, but that started to hurt my nostrils eventually. But, what can I help you all out with today?
My god, guys, don't make me be the face of this one, please!
Wait.
Finn is not face character.
2.
Name's Hogug, by the way. Hogug's horses.
Ega.
Nice to meet you, Ega.
I'm Finn. We'd like to rent some horses.
1, 2.
Of course.
3.
4.
4 horses.
4 horses? Of course. And, are you just looking for, well, you know, something that'll get you from point A to point B? Anything a little fancier?
I think we're just looking for something to get us to
Marinshire.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, in that case, unless you all are experienced riders, we have some mares that I would highly recommend. they'll be quite easy for inexperienced equestrians to handle. Of course, if you are an experienced rider, I'd tell you to have a crack at that fellow. But he gestures to the back stall, and you hear practically an indignant whinny. He will sort of like take you each to like essentially like meet a horse. There are different kinds of horses. There's so many names for horses.
I was almost about to go Warhammer 40k. Is there a red one?
Is there a red one?
Christmas. Just name them all the reindeer.
Red goes fast.
Yeah. Red goes fast. Yeah, so most of the mares are, regular old Shire horses, halflingers. I don't know.
Carry, Ega?
Lusitano horses. What'd you say?
Are there horses big enough to carry Ega? I just realized.
Yeah, Ega would probably have to get like a Clydesdale or something like that.
I'm only a bit tall. My character's only a bit taller than I am, and I've ridden horses before.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought he was big.
Well, he's 6'6", and I'm 6'4", so...
Yeah, but I thought he was, like, big.
340
more
pounds.
Worried about bulk
right.
than... I was more worried about bulk than height.
I mean, horses should be able to carry that.
Yeah.
You would probably get led to one of the larger horses. No Shetland pony for you, sir.
Aww.
Look, you can try and ride a Shetland pony and find out what the consequences are.
Yeah, me walking beside it, basically, while sitting on top of it.
I mean, if
I was thinking more along the lines of, you're gonna have to pay for that, But you all are able to meet your horses. You can name them fun names if you so wish. The white stallion in the corner, he then, after he introduces you, tries to go reason with it, and practically gets his nose bitten off before Hoga sighs and trudges back over to you all, holding some reins and saddles. So I will say, for all of you, if you all are meeting your horses, roll me an animal handling check. If your character would have extensive experience with horses, you can roll that with advantage. I'll say moderate to extensive.
At least I already have a decent animal handling, although I can't say I've ever had experience with horses.
So is a 5 gonna cut it?
Your horse does not seem to particularly love you.
Oh, wait, sorry, a 4. I forgot my modifier.
Oh, okay, so, important clarifications here. Yeah, you probably wouldn't, I will say it, because I think Clydesdales are really huge. You probably wouldn't need a Clydesdale, but, you'd have, a larger horse. And he sort of seems to give you, the evil eye. He's he doesn't love you. Not a fan.
He's gonna run you into a fence.
We'll find out.
I'm looking the horse right into the eyes. Me Aga. Me on your back. Yes.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of wondering if the horse has higher intelligence than Ega.
Most likely.
Oh,
can we pull up the sheet for
let's see.
horses?
Riding horse D&D 5e has a int of 2.
It's an int of 2. We're doing better.
We're on par.
We're doing better. Yeah, we're doing good. Cool.
I got
That is a fair question.
I got a 16 on mine.
Awesome.
15 for Evect.
Your Shire horses appear to warm up to you quite nicely. You can feed them a handful of hay or some such with no issue whatsoever. What about Finn? Hello? There you are.
12?
12. Awesome. Finn's horse seems to like them as well. Whatever the fuck kind of horse I said. Some Breton or whatever. Gives their hand an affectionate nuzzle. Hogug will get them all, like, sort of saddled up for you all. Unless anyone would prefer to do their own and knows how. He's happy to arrange the whole reins saddle sitch. He does, as he's working, essentially ask, like, and might if I ask, where are you folks planning to ride these two?
I think I already said Marinshire.
Marinshire, of course, it'll be no issue. Well, I have an arrangement with most of the other stables around here. And so it should be, just to go to Marinshire should really only be, well, honestly, I'll only charge you 3 gold since it won't even be a day's ride.
3 gold each?
Yes.
Okay. I will give them 3 gold for me.
Awesome.
You see me grab my pouch. 1 gold coin. 2 gold coin. That's a copper. 3 gold coin.
That's
He sort of like Hogug sort of pauses for a moment and then is like, okay, there you go. And the rest of you are able to pay with no issue. Brain. He will also hand you all essentially like a little piece of paper that basically just says, like, you know, you see it addressed to a place called Chocobo's Cart Horses. And
cute.
Yes, you've never heard that before. Nonsense. Essentially says, you know, these people rented horses from Ancaster and they paid, so no need to charge them when they get there. You know, you can stable the horse. There's like a verb for stabling a horse, but like I don't remember what it is. Board. That's the word. Board a horse. Y'all, I'm on some egga shit today, so sorry. That you all can just, you know, board your horses when you get there. And with that, unless you need anything else from Hogug, you are free to go.
To Marinshire.
To Marinshire. So,
Huzzah.
you all, if you would like, can simply ride the horses out of town. The streets of Smithfield are certainly wide enough that it's no issue for you all to ride together. Egga's horse seems to be sulking. The rest of your horses seem to be pretty content. As you reach the gate going out of Smithfield, essentially the gate going out of Ancaster. So if you remember, Ancaster has like some outskirts, but the main central part of the city is contained within walls, and there's like a primary like west gate and an east gate. And as you all are approaching the east gate, roll me a round of perception checks, if you will. I'm so good at directions. I'm so smart.
11.
13.
That is 21.
16.
21?
18.
Yep.
18?
Yeah, 18.
And what are those other perception checks if you all are making them?
11.
11? Okay.
13 for me.
Okay, so, all of you are able to notice, essentially, as you roll up, that there is a group of 3 people who appear to be arguing with the gate guards quite loudly. And you see a couple of figures. There is a woman in armor holding a spear. There's a guy who is essentially dressed in like really ostentatious full plate armor. Like he's got like a whole getup going on, a helmet with like the like faceplate flipped up, a full greatsword, and along with them a rather like slight individual with a bird on their shoulder. The woman appears to be arguing primarily with the guards, who are sort of like gesturing at the guy in full plate. And as you all approach the gate, you would hear snippets of conversation. Essentially, the guards believing like the plate armor or whatever to be stolen. The man, as you approach, sort of like puffs up and points a finger at the guards and goes, "Well, I can't believe you haven't heard of me. I'm a rather distinguished adventurer. How could you possibly believe that this does not befit someone of my station?" And one of the guards sort of just snorts and goes, "I've never heard of you in my whole entire life, Mr. What was your name? Grelvom? Grelvom Cloudblight, I'll have you know, and I'm renowned across the land. So if you don't mind, please move." As you all walk up, the guards appear to be rather preoccupied in this exchange. Like they're literally just ignoring you right now to like argue with these people. The gate is open, so you could probably like walk through if you wished. But you're not, like, I will tell you, you're not sure if that would cause issues or not.
I mean, I'm gonna do something.
I'm just walking through.
I'm gonna go for my standard decider again. That's high, yeah. My horse doesn't really listen well to me, right?
It does not love you, no.
So how badly would it sway to the side if I try to go straight?
Oh, they're pretty good at going straight.
I mean, if you're trying to direct the horse in a particular direction that's not straight, I would probably have you roll me a luck check. Otherwise, if you want to go straight on through, you can.
Okay, yeah, because I was planning on just going straight. More to the side where they're not arguing.
Gotcha. As you all start to walk through, the guards don't actually give a shit. But the guy in plate armor who had declared his rather snooty-sounding name quite angrily, turns and jabs a finger at all of you. "Well, what about them? You're letting them right through." The guards sort of like turn and look you guys up and down, and seeing as you do not have, in fact, what looks like a 30,000 gold set of plate armor, sort of turn back to him and are like, "I mean, no offense, sir, but they actually look like they know how to hold a sword." And the other guard.
You do know, Ega.
Yes, Ega holds sword good.
The other guard just sort of like the guards sort of just do that thing where they look at each other and then shrug and go, "All right, well, I've never heard of you, but frankly, it's not worth it. we'll send out some sort of a wanted if it turns out that this armor is stolen. But next, they wave them through, and this group of people actually like comes up to you all. Like, unless you all are like actively riding away from them, like they sort of like jog to catch up to you.
I mean, I can't control the horse, so I can't just tell it to go faster away. So
You can try.
But you can try.
See why we need.
Sure, luck check, right?
Yes.
That's a 19.
So are you trying to just are you trying to like ride away from them?
We're clear of buildings and people, right? So it can go in a
So at this point you're in the outskirts again, Casper, outside of the walls. So I would say like you could definitely get your horses up to a trot, probably not a full gallop, because there are still like, you know, people's homes around you. There are probably people crossing the street here and there, but you know, they're smart enough to try and look out for like horses.
Yeah, so a bit of a speed up.
Okay.
Finn doesn't really understand why we're speeding up, but they'll stay caught up with Ega.
Okay. Well, if you all speed up your horses, the guy in plate armor is sort of like flags you. He's like, "Hello, excuse me."
Oh, he is shouting. Okay. Yeah.
Well, as you start to like ride away from him, he's like, "Hello, pardon."
Fine, I'll slow down again.
Okay. And as you slow down, he and the other two catch up to you, and he like sort of stands up extra tall in his plate armor and regards you with his hand on the hilt of his sword. Can you believe the nerve of those guards? Anyway, no matter at all. Are you all by chance adventurers?
All? Maybe. Me? Yes.
Well, I mean, of course, you know, I would never shame a fellow adventurer, but you all clearly look like you could perhaps be in use of, you know, well, some quite qualified adventurers such as ourselves. I mean, these are dangerous roads in these parts. We're hardly north of the Bandits' Hills.
Can I do an insight check on this guy?
Yes, absolutely you can.
Did he just call the Beggars' Hills Bandit Hills?
Yes, because I'm an idiot. And actually, he's going to have said that in the game. That is actually going to be canon, as what he said.
Now, what do I roll to prevent me from chopping off his head in offense? Because... Well, wait, no, never mind. I know that the Beggars' Hills is filled with people that steal shit.
18.
Okay. Okay. I realized I didn't know if anyone else was going to roll insight, so I decided to wait and see if there are other rolls. With an 18, I can tell you, this man is a blathering idiot. First of all, his armor is entirely strapped on wrong. It is incredibly fancy, and none of it is situated correctly. He's resting his hand on the hilt of his sword, but it's in completely the wrong place to like pull it out if he got into a fight. How do I put this? If you've ever met someone and been like, wow, your perception of yourself has no relationship with reality, that. In other words, it's clear that this guy believes that he is like probably the greatest adventurer to ever walk the land. The distinguished.
Can I also roll a perception check, actually?
Yeah. Like, are you trying to find like discern anything in particular?
I'm seeing if I also notice this. I probably
yeah,
don't.
I would say I would roll like insight or investigate. It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
it was an insight check. It was an.
I would say
insight.
Insight would probably be better for this.
Insight would be
wisdom base.
13.
13. I would say that you would notice that this man seems to definitely have kind of a puffed up ego, like a kind of inflated perception of himself. You could also notice some of, like, you might notice that some of his gears does not appear to be, like, strapped on correctly. It's too tight, it's too loose. He has the gauntlets, mixed, like, gauntlets wouldn't make sense because hands have directions and are mirrored, but you get the point. He has his calf plates on his shins, something like that.
I'd like to try. You know what? Unless anyone has any objections, I'm gonna get off my horse and sort of have a little fun with this dude.
Okay.
I mean, I'm staying on my horse, high ground.
So, I'm just gonna walk up to the dude, just sort of. I'm gonna size him up. So you think you know the Beggar's Hills better than anyone, do you?
Well, yes, of course. I've spent years traveling through the Bandit Hills, and I know their ins and outs. Every single road my feet have touched.
Aye.
There's no roads.
Would you say happen to know where the places to, well, best place to get a drink around here, perchance?
Of course. Well, if you, of course, fledgling adventurers would like an escort, we're actually headed to Marinshire on some important adventuring business, and I suppose that we'd be willing to accompany you, and, show you the ropes, show you a thing or two about how to hold a sword, eh?
Finn is staring at him and just says, no.
So, about that sword of yours, you said you're quite adept with it, yes? What's the most bandits you've taken on recently?
Recently?
A lot of people here are famous for taking on multiple at once. They come out of everywhere, They really like to get the surprise on you.
Sorry. DM dirty brain.
I know where you're going to look.
I know, okay, I didn't say it.
We're going to the bad place.
Bonk. Okay. And he, like, unsheaths his sword and holds it aloft. Again, those of you who are paying attention would notice there's, like, a slight, tremble. And he sort of, like, gives it, like, a flourish to disguise this before sheathing it again.
So,
well...
Oh, I was about to ask.
Oh, go ahead.
Is his sword in range for me to grab? Like, just grab the sword.
With your hand?
Yes.
Your unarmored hand?
Yes.
I would say roll me, like, some kind of a dexterity check, like sleight of hand. I'd probably say it would be to try and, like, grab his sword while he's, like, waving it around.
That would be a 9.
I'm gonna say you miss.
Okay.
I also apparently don't have dice. I'll rectify that in a minute. Yes, I have my dice. I'm so very prepared. Thankfully, he also does not notice. So
I was gonna test if the sword was sharp by grabbing it.
And he goes on to say, like, this legendary diadem passed down through generations in my family. Each of them used, well, I say each, sorry. What am I on? That's DM. Its blade used to slay many sorts of different beasts and creatures. My grandfather, you see, slew a red dragon with this by his own 2 hands. Now, bandits. Well, truthfully, I've lost count. I'm pretty sure I've killed 10 bandits at once, at least one time. I mean, as you say, they just kept coming, and I hacked them down one by one, helpless before, well, if I do say so myself, my martial prowess.
Finn is staring him like Wednesday Addams, just dead stared. No.
You sound certainly like you have quite the hand for it. But... Well... Said your grandfather slayed the red dragons, yes? And... Yeah.
Well, one of them. He ventured down to its lair. I will say, just, you know, like, I assume that y'all are walking your horses pretty slowly, but, like, you are walking and talking. Like, you aren't just standing outside the gate, just so you know. Unless you all, like, would have halted. I will say, like, would you all be, like, they would be, like, walking and talking. Are you all walking and talking, or are you standing by the gate?
I think Finn would have
standing by the gate.
Standing
by the gate. Okay. Okay. So you all are standing by the gate. Oh, what was I in the middle of saying? Telling a story.
Grandpa Red Dragon ventured down to...
Ah, yes. You see, he ventured down to the lair of this foul beast and drew his sword. The dragon arose from its hoard of treasure and snarled at in its eyes, puny human. Before he drew his sword, dashed forward, and stabbed the beast right in its heart.
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. While he's telling a story, I'm gonna try and pickpocket him.
Oh, okay. Roll me a sleight of hand check.
Can I assist with that by distracting the dude?
That is a natural 20.
Never mind.
Okay. So, I'm trying to think. So, there's a couple pieces to this. But I guess my question is, what do you want to try and steal? And I will say he does have essentially like a belt on, that has the sword on it, what looks like at least one small pouch of some kind, like likely a money pouch, probably like a healing potion on his belt. You could probably try and go for the whole belt if you wanted, or go for something in particular. I would say even with a nat 20, trying to like steal any of his armor in this scenario is gonna be difficult. Like, I probably wouldn't let you get away with trying to steal his armor, even if it's just because it's fucking buckled on wrong. You could probably try and grab his helmet, but he will notice if you steal his helmet. That's just...
So...
No amount of stupid can save that.
I'm going to try to take his sword, and I'm gonna take the money pouch.
Okay.
And would I be able to... I'd like to unfasten one of the gauntlets. That's obviously very sharply done. I'd like to unfasten one of the gauntlets so it drops to the floor. Use that to distract him. It's like, oh, you dropped this. And then...
okay.
I pickpocket a sword, I pickpocket the money, and I'll specifically give them a coin from the coin pouch as a thank you for telling such a wonderful tale.
Okay. So, here's the sauce. I rolled perception checks for all of them. The highest that they got was like a 12. So, I will say that they will probably notice in a minute that the sword is going to be gone. So, like, yeah, I'm just gonna let y'all know, like, y'all should probably, like, you know, at some point, he's gonna look down and notice the sword is gone. But, yeah, so you would be able to, I would say maybe, you know, go in for, like, a handshake or something after the story, is how I'd imagine you'd be able to get away with it, and unfasten the gauntlet. What'd you say?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Oh. He would probably be like, oh, well, look at me go. I perhaps didn't fasten them correctly this morning. Ha, silly me making such a rookie mistake. And as he would lean down to grab it, you could essentially just like, I would say probably just the easiest way to do it would be to like grab the scabbard off of his like just sort of grab like the pouch and the scabbard off the belt. You could probably cut the strings if you have a knife, or just like yank them off.
Joint the entire belt.
I do. Do I?
Thanks, Justin.
Could have sworn I have a knife.
Dagger, anything like that. Probably the easiest way to do it. Anyway, it mostly matters for flavor purposes. You get away with bullshit because nat 20. As you both sort of straighten up, he sort of like seems like a little bit puzzled, like for a moment. What do you like say when you give him the coin?
Oh, sadly we must be going, but your tale was surely a wonderful one for the ages. We'll be sure to keep a lookout in the Beggar's Hills though, but I believe we should do my fine on our own though. Thank you very much, and I'll toss the coin to them.
Question,
yes,
for while
possible
that
answer.
story was being told. How, I mean, obviously he's the talker of the group. How is the rest of the group, like, what are they doing while he's telling the story, while he's trying to get us to join them?
So, the other two, I'm gonna say roll me insight. Just roll me like a real quick insight check if that's fine. I don't know why I say if that's fine. Yeah, roll me an insight check. I don't need to ask for permission.
It's fine, Milo.
What'd you say?
I said it's fine because you say it's fine. That would be a 4.
So
but never mind.
Mostly Finn is concentrating on the situation in front of them. I will say you can tell that the other two seem, I'm just gonna say with a 4, vaguely disinterested. They're not like, they're not like, their eyes are not fixed on you or him. They're sort of just like standing behind him.
They've heard this story a dozen times and they don't care anymore.
Probably just like looking, the woman is probably just like looking at her spear, looking around you all. And the other person is talking to their falcon. So as you finish the story and you toss him the coin, he like lets out like a beaming smile, but not like not really like a beaming smile like, oh my god, yeah, you like my story, sort of just like the haha. And he gives a rather grandiose bow.
The hammer from Dr. Horrible sing-along blog kind of smile?
Yes, actually, like exactly that sort of personality. Well, of course. Well, suffice it to say, we will be saddened and we will take you to Marinshire if we come across your corpses waylaid by bandits. But in the meantime, someday, and he like reaches out and is gonna at least like try and rest a hand on James's shoulder unless James like really objects to this. Someday,
I can do it.
If you train and work hard, you too might become, shall we say, folks of our league, of our expertise, of our renown. Keep working and don't give up.
So, how tall is he actually?
He is probably like, with the armor, like 6 foot.
Okay.
He's shorter than me. Short men use big words. I got confused.
It's okay, he didn't say much.
Are you saying that like quietly?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh no, I'm saying it at normal volume. I'm not saying
okay.
like particularly quietly. Normal volume. Finn's not subtle.
That is fair.
That guy's just stupid.
Like,
yeah.
Ralph almost sort of like
he wouldn't hear it.
Look over at you, and then just sort of like shrug and be like, "Well, we at the least must be off. We have, after all, rather important business to attend to. Quest to undertake, people to protect. Farewell." like they like, it's funny because like they're basically saying like, you know, oh well, we have important things to do, see you later. Obviously if you all get going, you will of course almost immediately pass them on your horses as they're traveling on foot.
Also, didn't
we'll
they...
just we'll travel a little faster. We'll travel a little faster. You know, a gallop.
The moment we...
At least that's why I would suggest.
In town, we don't want to gallop.
Yeah, when we get out of town before them, we'll canter past them, or trot past them.
Yeah.
Whatever the word for it is.
Trot.
A faster trot.
A faster trot. So I will say, what are you, like, I assume like you're getting back on your horse and like leaving.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the sword? Like, where are you putting it? Are you trying to like hide it?
So I'm going to hide it. So I'm gonna hide it under my belt, between where my cutlass is holstered and where the belt, like between my shirt and my belt, like right next to where the cutlass is holstered, so they don't notice.
Okay.
So basically, the equivalent of putting a broomstick in your under your shirt, under the belt, and maybe in your pant, like.
Yeah.
So, as you all ride by, you would probably hear a snippet of their conversation. They thankfully don't seem to at least notice that you have their sword, but you might hear the falconer pipe up and go, where'd your sword go? Those bastard guards? Well, that nonsense. I can't believe that, the audacity. Well, lads, best do what we do best. Argue. And they will like turn around and march back towards the city. So, you all are set along the road towards Marinshire. With horses, it's probably like essentially like just it's gonna be like a travel for most of the day. But you all will certainly be able to.
So this is specifically for everyone in chat that doesn't know the map.
Thank you. You all will be able to certainly reach Marinshire by sunset.
That's fair.
So, as you travel, is there anything that you all would particularly like to do?
Well, I've filled my quota for the day.
I'm just trying.
You are muted, Evan, if you were talking.
I was just wondering if he actually is brandishing the sword that he stole, or because I am speaking for the passive perception of two of us in particular, but I don't think any of us have the passive perception to notice something like that happening.
I mean, it's an 11.
17.
Someone might notice.
I mean, it's a good question.
The one who doesn't give a shit, but I have a 17.
Would you keep the sword like completely hidden, like as you all keep riding?
Probably if there was if we slow down, I'll probably just be like, look what I got. Have a bit of a laugh with it with everyone, because we all know they were full of shit.
But why does that mean that you deserve his sword?
I don't. Do any of y'all want it? I already have mine.
Does he not deserve his sword?
You seen what they were wearing? Honestly, all they probably do is sit by the guard tower. If anything, the guards have them covered. And if not, well, there's plenty of inns nearby.
So you steal from someone because you disapprove of what they are wearing?
I steal from someone who mocks where they are, who mocks the culture around them. And I will tell you, the Beggar Hills, well, hold a special place to me. Can't say,
Got Huttenbeggar Hill.
Can't say showing off a sword like theirs would do them much good either. Over here, you have more thieves with daggers and knives and can't really use a sword to fight against that. So I thought I'd save them the trouble. Maybe invest in something they can hold on to a little better.
Finn just kind of shakes their head and they don't understand.
Let's see. Did I have anything against crime? No, I vaguely know that there was something about me accosting robbers or people that I thought were robbers in the Beggar's Hills.
I think your character's
own backstory.
They failed the intelligence check. They do not know.
I can't
remember their backstory.
Oh my god.
Finn doesn't have anything against crime. They just don't understand the logic behind stealing this particular item.
I mean, how do I put this? I'm pretty sure from my understanding of your character that Ega is not like the biggest fan of thieves, but I mean, James, at least to Ega's knowledge, has never tried to steal anything from Ega.
Right.
So,
so what I have here is
you adjudicate. That's your character.
Accost all travelers, accusing them of banditry and demanding that they hand over any stolen goods.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
So literally all I do is tell people, stealing is bad, give me your stolen stuff. And all the good people obviously hand over the stolen stuff.
Stolen.
Or they ignore me.
The stuff that wasn't actually stolen, making you the stealer.
Yeah, let's not think too much about it. So yeah, that's yeah, Aga doesn't think that much.
Don't think too hard, your brain might explode.
Again. So I will say, James, stealing bad, give.
You can have it. I already got the one.
So now I have the sword.
All right. As you all ride into. What'd you say?
Finn just goes, "How did that make it better?"
Hey, if anything, they can't say I stole it. No longer have it. They have no proof.
Wait.
How did
me? Wait, but stolen, but now.
Did I just cause an existential crisis for Ega by asking how stealing something that was stolen made it better?
I don't steal. They always hand it over voluntarily.
An existential crisis?
An existential crisis.
Thank you guys for showing up. Have a great night.
I'll be here all night. Anyway, so I will give you the information on the great sword to add to your inventory. I can tell you that it is almost obnoxiously ostentatious looking. Like, you know, there is of course a practical sword which has, you know, a hilt and a guard and a blade, and this just has all kinds of other like unnecessary shit.
So this is like mall ninja shit. Like those swords you get from the little Asian stores in the mall.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like they don't even serve the purpose of being wall decorations. They're so gaudy.
Yeah, I will say, the greatsword does seem like at least like functional. Like it doesn't, you know. I'll tell you, like, it doesn't, like, at least, you know, from like a first glance, like, you know, it does seem like used. Like, it doesn't seem like, you know, you would try and hit someone with it and the like blade would just like shatter.
But would you stab yourself if you tried swinging the sword?
I'm trying to think of how many sharp bits would be attached to this, because the way I have it pictured is that like
up your hand a bit.
The whole, unless you like wielded it with gloves, like the whole thing is like set with like jewels and such. Like the leather wrapped around the hilt has like, you know, carvings of it that if you look closely are of like, you know, someone in plate armor, like, you know, killing like various mythical beasts that someone in plate armor.
It's Maui's tattoos, basically.
Yeah, that someone in plate armor looks very suspiciously like the dude you just robbed, despite this being a generations old sword handed down.
See, I thought it was going to be a long sword, but a great sword.
It is a great sword.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason that like when he tried to lift it up with one hand, he basically went like, "Ha ha!"
Oh,
yes,
I thought he was just weak as fuck. That he couldn't
even.
I'm also surprised I managed to. I thought it would just be like a long I thought it'd be like a broadsword or something. I was not. I was pickpocketing. It was like, oh, this will be easy to take.
I think broadswords are classified as long swords.
Well, it's why I thought
like
about
a
it.
smaller long sword.
I was like,
not a short sword, but.
Am I gonna let him take this sword? And then I was like, it's gonna depend on the perception rolls. And then the perception rolls were not that good, and I was like, they're gonna notice almost immediately. But I'm gonna let you get away with it.
I actually, if they did notice, I would have used entangle on them and just stuck their feet to the ground and just galloped away.
Oh my god.
I had this is the only time I had a plan.
The only time I had a plan. Okay. Yeah, you can add the greatsword to your inventory. It is, I will say, yeah, you'll probably have to wear gloves to wield it, and it will require a decent amount of strength. You probably have that amount of strength. But you would be able to notice as James hands it to you that it is quite heavy, and yeah, it is exceptionally gaudy. It's just like, it's, the fucking crossguard is like inlaid with jewels, the fucking etched leather on the hilt, etc. It's like a whole shebang. I assume you all would keep writing. Okay.
Yeah, I assume so.
Yep.
When you are most of the way to Marinshire, again, if there's anything that you all would like to do as you travel, let me know. But when you're most of the way to Marinshire, roll me a round of perception checks, if you will.
That's a 17.
18.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Getting all the 20s tonight.
At least we're not getting ambushed.
I feel like that was a waste, but...
sorry, what kind of roll was this?
Perception.
Just a perception.
Alright, 16.
16.
16, 17, 18, nat 20.
Someone needed
surprisingly a good round of rolls. So you all, so the sword gets handed off at one point, and you all are able to keep riding on your way to Marinshire. It goes through the middle of the day. You all would likely have to stop to either, eat rations or like take a break here and there. But mostly it's just riding. The way to Marinshire is, as you get out of the outskirts of Ancaster, a mixture of plains, some light forest, but a lot of grassland. And as you get closer to Marinshire, you do pass through a few wooded patches. And in one of these, I think pretty much, what was the lowest roll? Like a fucking...
16.
16? Yeah. All of you would hear some thumping footsteps, probably about 50 feet off the road, to your left. Those of you who look would see a decently tall, shaggy shape moving through the grass. The grass hang on, you guys are in the forest. brain. I mean, there would still be grass.
The brush.
The brush. Thank you. That is the words I'm looking for. So, you would be able to hear its footsteps and the vague rustling of the brush. This isn't like thick brush earlier, like with the rabbit. So, like, you know, if you all look over there, you can see the shape walking. I can tell all of you, like, it definitely appears to have 4 legs, and is reasonably large. And actually, like, the lowest is a 16. Any of you who, like, I would say it depends on what your characters do. All of you would be able to hear the noise. If you look, you would see that it appears to be a rather large and shaggy bear. With a nat 20, you can definitely tell that it's a bear.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong?
Yes.
Not a bear.
Do you all do anything in particular?
I want to confirm something real quick. We came from Marenshire?
No, we're going to
We came from Ancaster. So Ancaster is the capital city. Y'all essentially started on the left/west side of the continent on the King's Isle, and essentially have traveled to Ancaster and are on your way to Marenshire.
I didn't know Beggar's Hill made up like that stretch as well.
No, it's honestly like at least somewhat to the south. But this would be a road that like it would be north of the hills, but it wouldn't be untold of for bandits to be encountered on this road.
Okay then.
That's, I mean, you know, that's a fact that anyone who like lives in Wisteron would probably know. The riskiest part of it is actually going south into the hills if you're trying to head south to like Cedrine. But you know, there are different hideouts throughout the hills. So
yeah, so it's currently mirrored, but at least it's focused. I have to push the talk. Hold on.
So
yeah, we started there. We went to Ancaster. We're going to Marenshire. And the Beggar's Hills are down here.
Marvelous. So do you all do anything in particular?
There's a bear. Is it coming? Sorry, I missed. Is it coming towards us, or is it just...
Not particularly. It appears to be walking through the brush, sort of just like snuffling and like it's just doing like, how do I describe bear things? It has not noticed you that you notice, and at least like as you spot it, and it certainly as a result is not necessarily like threatening right away. It is sort of just like walking through the brush off the road.
Are these one of those famous axe-wielding bears?
Ah, yes, the famous axe-wielding bears. That you can see, this bear is not in fact wielding any axes, much less several of them.
So it's a mage bear.
If it doesn't see us, I'd say we don't see it. I would continue personally.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to engage with it.
Absolutely.
So with a 5, do I 5 in nature? Would I think that bears are cuddly?
I mean, they are.
So with a 5 in nature, I'm going to say that the rest of the party can know that this is a bear. You don't know what the fuck that is, bro. Like, you've probably seen it before, but you're just like, ah, yes, the furry lump. It moves. There are other furry lumps. I don't know what level you understand species of animals. You would probably have seen some of them like living in the hills. I would say that with a 5 in nature, you might not recognize that this is a bear. Or if you do, you know very little about bears.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something very dumb here.
Okay.
So fully in character, got it.
Yeah. I am steering, or trying to steer my horse to the bear. Because I want to hug it.
Okay. So, roll me an animal handling check to steer your unhappy horse.
Please be a druid.
I'm just gonna say a disadvantage because a horse is not going to willingly go towards a fucking bear.
That and the horse doesn't like me.
Between that, I will agree with that statement.
Also, I kind of wanted to fail at that.
So the first roll was a 18 with my modifier. The second roll is a 7.
I'm very glad we gave him disadvantage on that.
Truthfully, it was correct. I don't know why I didn't say disadvantage because I thought it. I just didn't say it with my words.
I mean, I could have also said I'll use my DM inspiration from last session that you gave.
Yeah.
You could have if you really wanted to pet the bear that badly.
You're not gonna get to pet the bear.
No bear petting. So, Ega, you all would see Ega, unless I assume Ega's not really trying to like hide what he's doing.
Nope.
Essentially like be like yanking on the reins, attempting to get the horse to go off like left off the road towards the bear. And the horse is just like the horse, if it sees the bear, is just like, and continues galloping along the road, resisting it.
I wanna cuddle.
It was
the horse.
That was a hell of a sound.
I'm too used to role playing a really like personality-y horse in another campaign, so it's just become second nature to reply with horse sounds, and I just went, oh yeah, that's not the president in this group, rightio. So the horse will not go off the trail. Particularly Finn with a nat 20 would notice that as you all ride away, Ega unsuccessfully trying to tug at his horse to make it go towards the bear and like make it turn around, stands up on its hind legs and like has definitely noticed you. Like it notices you and then sort of just stands up on its hind legs and watches you ride along the road. You would probably notice that out of the corner of your eye.
Did Egg say that he wanted to pet the bear out loud?
Yeah, I want to cuddle. I'm basically shouting to my horse to steer.
Not for cuddling. That creature does not want to cuddle.
Aww. So it's just standing up, you said?
As you ride away, like, I will say... I mean, are you, like, looking at the bear? Are you, like, turning around on your horse to look at the bear?
Yes.
Roll me a perception check. Anyone who would like to look at the bear as you all ride away can roll me a perception check.
That's a 3. No, wait, that's a 5.
Watching Ega.
Ooh,
Pretty sure it's just Ega, but we'll see.
It's a 5.
Yeah. 5, because you're still not blind. You could see the bear, like, move, like, sort of looks taller. Maybe it stood up on its hind legs.
Ooh, Cuddly got big.
So. I assume you all are proceeding away from the bear.
Yep.
Okay. So.
As long as Ega is.
Well, yeah, I'm not jumping off the horse.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I will say the horse will not listen to your commands. At a certain point, you would have to just try and straight up turn the horse around if you wanted to go back to the bear.
Physically lift it up, turn it around.
I mean, I assumed with the reins, but you know, you do you. I guess I shouldn't underestimate your character. So, you all keep riding, and eventually enter the charming, little town of Marinshire, which I will have art posted for in a minute. Now that YouTube works again, yay! Woo! Makes me so fucking happy when the YouTube works. Oh, I was saying a thing.
Right into Marinshire.
Yes. It's like a charming little village. Like it's very reminiscent of, like, in fact, the Shire. Well, the town is pronounced Marinshire in keeping with proper pronunciations. It's very Shire-esque. It's sort of this semi-coastal town. It's set a little ways back from the coast. But as you all ride into town, you could see that there's a road that leads down to some docks. And it's like a moderately sized town. In the center, there are all manner of workshops. There's no, like, wall to this town. Like, it essentially just has, like, a road. You ride into there. And it's quite picturesque. It's obviously much, much smaller than Ancaster. But I think I said just sort of has this quaint charm to it. Obviously, if there's anything particular you all would like to do, just let me know. You would ride past elves blowing giant bubbles of glass, some of the same ambiance as Smithsfield, but there's a very, like, how do I describe this? Like, when you rode through Smithsfield, it was very much like sort of a typical, like, you know, it's people doing their jobs. You know, you walk past and there's, like, you know, people hammering things and people weaving things, but it's very much like, ah, yes, this is my job. I do this job to make money. Capitalism noises, whatever. This is like walking into, like, some kind of, like, an artisanal market, except instead of food, although there would likely be food going on as well, there's certainly places to eat in this town. It's people who seem truly, like, dedicated to their craft. And yeah, there's, as with a lot of places, there's this downtown area, you know, there's more residential areas on the outside. But it is a very cute little town. You all would ride in around probably like early evening. You all got going pretty early in the morning. Y'all pretty much got up and went straight to the stable. So, you know, all said and told, y'all probably would have left, like, really gotten on the road by like 10 a.m. at the latest. So y'all will be rolling into town probably about early evening.
Did we cross a guard post?
So I'm going to say not particularly. I'm trying to think. You might have crossed some kind of outpost at some point on the road, but this town isn't necessarily, like, full of defenses. Like, I would say that there are honestly very few guards that you can see. I would say if you're trying to understand why, roll me just like I would say history or insight check would do. But not really a specific guard post. Like, it would be more of like there's like a you are now entering Marinshire sign or something like that. That in our world people would take pictures by. But does that make sense?
Welcome
Sorta,
to Las Vegas.
Yes. Also a 16.
A 16. Ancaster was a place that felt very... I don't know how to describe this in single words. Ancaster, there was sort of like a tension about the place. You could tell that it was... I mean, it is a large city. You could tell that, like, you know, there is some level of just like security about it. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this properly in words that make sense. Essentially, like, Ancaster, outside and within, is prone to some seedy stuff, right? Things were harsher on the side that you rode in on. But overall, like, there is a decent, almost like, essentially like guard presence at Ancaster. There would be a decent amount of them stationed around, just for watching, especially in Newchester. There would be some guards for sure. Marinshire seems like one of those places that at least people believe is like safe and peaceful. And if you look closer, there are definitely guards around, but you're not sure. I will say you're not sure whether that this is like conscious and intentional, or just a side effect of like the vibe of the place. Essentially, they are much more relaxed. Like in Ancaster, you might like go past a corner and there would be like guards with weapons stationed there. Here it's almost more like a city watch, or something like that, where, like, you know, there might be a dude. You don't necessarily see any obvious weapons on him, but, you know, he's like, you know, chilling like on a bench, just like clearly keeping an eye on things, scanning his surroundings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to explain this.
Yeah.
Like,
there is guards, but it's more like casual guards in some sleepy town than actual active police in Detroit.
Yeah, like if you look around, whether naturally or artificially created, it is a very like peaceful seeming place. Like, for example, like if you rode past like all of the shops, like in Smithfield or pretty much wherever, like, you know, it got to nighttime and they were like locked up. Like some of the stuff, like some of the shops here just have basically like open fronts, like, you know, like there's not necessarily like a door that gets locked. Like it's more like, oh, like you can come by and like, you know, watch like these people work on this thing. There were like technique demonstrations, that sort of thing, if that clicks.
Yeah. See, I was mostly asking because I'm going to hand the gaudy greatsword to a guard.
To a guard?
Yes. Took from thief.
So
beat up thief.
There's like this sort of city watch dude who's sitting on a bench, just probably drinking, you know, like a cup of whatever, like whatever the medieval equivalent of an oat milk latte would be, probably like some sort of tea, sipping, let's say, a cup of tea, and they just look like utterly like nonplussed as you come up to them and hand them the sword. Like they're sort of just like, sorry, what?
Some thief took sword. I took sword from thief.
There was a thief, and you took this sword from the thief.
Yes.
And
hold on, I'll say this with a roll attached to it, persuasion.
Okay.
Egga's a good guy. Let's see, my persuasion is a +1. That's a 9.
I was gonna say, roll me your choice of persuasion or deception based on other regular things. Egga's a good guy.
Egga's a good guy. Egga's not a liar.
Uh-huh. Alright, sure.
I only attack in self-defense.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
No,
just ask risk.
He's not lying down.
Anyway, a 9 for persuasion.
A 9. The dude sort of just like stares at you for a moment and then says like, I'm sure you are. Are you attempting to return the sword to its owner?
Yes.
So, the thief stole the sword from, someone from Marinshire.
Between Ancaster and here.
So, pardon, what were these circumstances?
Found
Finn is
thief.
watching all of this.
Found thief. Took sword from thief. Now give sword to guard. So, guard returns sword to owner. Yes.
I believe what he's meaning to say is we saw a thief drop the sword and we thought we'd give it to you, although the sword does seem a little useless. So we don't know, maybe you want it?
Well, I could certainly, see if this belongs to, one of the smiths here. It is certainly quite detailed work. It wouldn't surprise me if it were. I suppose I'll see if, well, I suppose I'll check around and, see if one of the master smiths here made something like this. Well, this person is just utter, like, literally, like, if you've ever seen a combination of like, what the fuck do I do and I don't get paid enough for this written on someone's face, that's the expression that like this random city watch person has, like this random guard has. Like he's just like, well, are you attempting to find the owner?
Yes.
The maker?
Owner.
Okay. Well, come with me, I suppose, and we'll speak to one of the master smiths in this area. Okay. He lets out a pretty deep sigh, and then begins walking down, one of the streets, leaving his cup of tea on the bench.
Wait, do I have to follow him, he said?
Well, he's sort of assuming, like, how would your character even fucking know this? Roll me just an insight check.
He thinks you're trying to find the owner.
He thinks you are trying to find the owner. For the rest of you, it would probably be obvious based on the interaction that he's expecting you to follow him.
That's a 9.
He's expecting you to follow him. He thinks you want to find the owner.
But guards take material. Find owner, give back, right? Wait, Mr. Guard, wait! I'm gonna have to roll animal handling because I'm trying to steer the horse.
I mean, if you call it pretty loud, like if he starts to walk away and you don't follow him and you call it, like he'll just turn around and be like, yes?
Always just gave guards goods. They found owner.
You're used to just handing random guards random swords.
Sword, purse.
And
goods.
You've always assumed that those guards somehow went through the effort to find the original owner of such an item instead of selling it and pocketing the money.
Yes.
Very naive.
I can certainly take care of the sword if you don't want it anymore.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
The guard is probably at this point, like, also, like, kind of looking, like, at the rest of you, like, what the fuck?
If you get more than 500, you should come buy us a drink.
All right. I don't get paid enough for this. He will just sort of like walk along the side street, just like sort of holding the sword like one holds like someone else's child that they didn't actually want to hold, but like, you know, then like the expectant parents were like, oh, don't you want to hold him? And you're like, ah, no, and then they give you the child anyway, and you're like, hi child.
Feel like this is a personal story.
What? No, that's not a wildly specific experience based off of a specific description. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Nope, not at all.
So the guard just sort of will stumble off into Marinshire, about as confused as a random guard can be.
That's what happens when you hand a mall cop a kilo of coke.
What the
Is that not kind of what just happened here?
No, it's like...
That's actually exactly what happened.
Giving a random person a murder weapon.
I mean, you kind of just walked up and was like, oh yeah, this was stolen. And they're like, oh, from here? And you're like, no. And they're like, what the fuck do you want me to do with this? And you're just like, yeah, that.
I don't know, take it.
I mean,
it's
mall cops probably would do the kilo coke, so it's not entirely wrong.
All I know is that usually it works.
In what world does this work?
I mean, I no longer have the stolen goods, and as far as I know, it goes back to the owner.
Object permanence is not a strong point.
As far as I know, I've never paid my taxes, and the IRS hasn't come after me, so clearly I don't have to pay them.
Exactly.
Okay. Right. So, a very confused guard just walks away. What do you all do next?
Go find
I guess.
I think
What'd you say?
finding a tavern is probably a good
Oh,
idea.
wait.
Find a stable where we have to put these horses?
Oh, right, yeah.
That's true. You do have the horses, so I would say if you...
no one would remember that.
Milo, I forgot to
Just
ask
walk into
something.
the tavern and-
Yeah, what's up?
How much money did I steal off the other guy?
Oh, yeah, I should tell you.
Roll some die.
It was actually just a pouch of marbles. He spent all the money on the equipment.
Roll me a luck check.
Okay.
James, you've
it's
been
an
looking
8.
for a magic item person, haven't you?
I rolled an 8.
Roll me a D100.
Oh.
It's gonna be filled with copper pieces.
Yeah, it's gonna be all copper. No, it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be all electrum.
That's better.
Hey, I like Electrum.
Electrum is
Actually,
half a
this
gold.
character doesn't. I have one character who literally that's all she started out with because she likes unique, interesting things and is incredibly weird and quirky. So she prefers Electrum.
30.
30.
Wait, yeah, just
Alright.
just the straight D100.
Yep. Well,
Okay,
I'll
30.
say pouch had I have to think. The pouch will have had 30 gold pieces and 8 silver pieces.
I'm rich.
Well, I won't go into it, but that character has a whole backstory and everything.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna die in the future.
No. Who knows? You'll be fine. Look, you can't have fucked up as bad as the other people, so... don't worry about it. It's a long, long story. You've not yet killed, 1,000 people, accidentally. So, I think you're doing pretty well.
I'm more likely to be attacked by that dude, because I was actually the one seen handing over the stolen sword. If he ever gets here and the guards actually find out that it's his.
I just stole
I don't know anymore.
I just stole from the privileged rich kid. Thumbs up.
There's the matter of the horses. I heard something about the horses and finding the place to board the horses. And then I heard matter of a tavern.
Yes.
Well, and I feel like James at some point asked about a magic shop.
This is true.
I'm still looking for someone who will tell me what this damn wand is.
So I will say, if you all wanted to go to some kind of shop, you would probably have time today, before things close. Horse boarding places and taverns would be open late because they kind of have to be to, take people's horses and serve people drinks and stop bar fights.
Start
just
bar
as
fights.
Examples. That's the job of idiots. Definitely no one here.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You do.
Wait, what did you say?
I resemble that remark.
I resemble that remark? Okay.
Never heard
that? I've never heard that, no, but that's pretty good, and I would steal it. I
stole it from somebody else, so.
I will say then, would James want to try and find the magic, essentially, some kind of, magic item place first?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone who wants to find it, roll me a quick investigation check, if you will.
I'll see if I can actually get a roll that does something. Not this one.
14.
Try.
14. All right. Thanks, in part, to some level of intelligence, and thanks in part to this town would likely have some pretty convenient signage, and things would likely be somewhat organized by trade. It's not necessarily pure tourist town vibes, but it's definitely as the kids say, here for the aesthetic. Ancaster is a huge, dirty city. Marinshire just is, you can tell that it is certainly meant for visitors, whether those are people passing through or people who are here to learn trades. You all would be able to head over to essentially sort of a magical trinket shop would probably be the best descriptor. Essentially I'm trying to think of the words. An enchantment shop would probably be the closest thing to it. It would be quite a pretty storefront, nice big glass windows, and inside is an owlin, who appears to be using almost some kind of magical mobile thing. Hang on, I have a moment of doubt.
The thing for above a baby's cradle?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's called a mobile.
Yes. And essentially they would be placing items into the center of it, and then different little pieces with runes on it would spin and align with the center, essentially functioning as a spellcasting focus for those of you who are smart, know how D&D magic works. And They don't appear to notice you outside, but I assume you all are going inside?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Wunderbar. So, as you come in, the owlin turns around and gives you a friendly hoot. Hello, how are you all doing today?
Mighty fine, thank you. I believe I have an item that I'm a little miffed about, you see. And I'll show them the wand. I'll show
A
them
little
wand.
miffed about hoot? Why do you say that?
Well, we procured this wand and we don't really know what it does, other than make some closet utensils dance about a little bit.
Oh, of course. You are looking for an appraisal then?
Yes.
Oh, of course. No problem at all. Appraisals are usually just 1 gold. It can be more if the item has some rather complicated enchantments on it. But for a simple item, it shouldn't be an issue. Hoot.
Alright, fair trade.
Awesome. I have to remember. Perfect. I'm so smart. I was like, I have to remember what this wand is, and I really hope that I wrote it down. And I did, because I'm intelligent.
Thought ahead.
Look.
Impressive.
I know, right? Actually writing down information so I can remember it? Massive brain of me. So, I assume you would fork over the gold to the owlin, by the way.
Yes.
Awesome. So they place it into the center of this like mobile looking thing, and essentially just give it a spin. And as the runes align, they give a soft like hoot and a nod, and turn and present the wand back to you with their talons. Oh, interesting. This actually appears to be a wand that has a spell contained within. Appears to just be some sort of magical dart. In theory, you should be able to use it to cast the spell, and it can essentially regain this ability over time. Although if you use it too much and use all of the spells inside, you might find that it breaks and is no longer able to contain them. Hopefully that helps. Hoot.
What spells does it have?
So, as your DM, this is a wand of magic missiles, which you may now add to your inventory. I believe it does not acquire attunement. I don't think it does, from what I see. Because I believe you've not used it since you don't know what it is. You can look it up on D&D Beyond, or I can send the link to it.
Yep, I have it right here.
Knocked over my water glass. Holy shit. So it should have the full charges, and you now have that.
Hey, well, thank you very much. Your services have been greatly appreciated.
No problem. Come back anytime to Ruiz.
Is there anything nifty in the shop?
So, absolutely. If you would like to look around the shop, Roll me just a little investigation check.
18.
Awesome. So I will say a lot of the things that are in the shop are things that appear to be like essentially like orders like in the process of being enchanted. But you do see like, how do I put this? Like near the front of the store, there are some shelves which have some different goods that appear to be for sale, either like because whoever ordered them didn't want them anymore. The reason is unimportant. It is truly a freaking variety of things. I mean, there is everything from like a leaf to like a mixing bowl to like a sewing needle. Roll me up to twice if you're looking around on a D100 to see what you find.
An 8. Can I roll for what I find too? Or am I just completely distracted because 8?
No. Anyone who would like to look at these items, I will say can roll up to twice on a D100.
87 for the first roll.
I have a D100 out.
And 38.
Okay, an 87 and a 38.
Yep.
Two of the things that would catch your eye are a small, empty crystal coffin. And you said what was the other one? A 36?
38.
38. And what appears to be a rather flamboyant pink like jumpsuit. Like it is like a jumpsuit that is like dyed bright pink and has like faux fur around its like trimmings, essentially, like the wrists and like the ankles. It is depending on your character's opinion,
late, but, you know.
Truly hideous or absolutely astonishing and incredible, possibly both.
I mean, now I just so I will hold up the pink jumpsuit. Hey, what does this do?
This outfit will never get dirty, and if it rips or tears, is able to mend itself. This was for a client that unfortunately wasn't very happy with the look of it by the end. But, well, I've kept it around. Somehow no one seems to have wanted it.
Am I mean enough to try getting Ega to wear this?
Yes.
Yeah, and feel free for any of these, like, you can just ask what they do.
I got a 77 and a 41.
77 and a 41. Okay. You would notice that there is like a pin, like just a little like brooch of some kind. Brooch, I think that's how you say that. That has a bunch of like clear glass beads. You would also you would also find like essentially just like a little like statue or like figurine of some kind that appears to be of a lightning bolt. Don't read too much into that, okay? I know what you all are thinking, you people who know spell names, okay? Don't get ahead of yourselves. Don't get too excited.
I'd like to look at the brooch.
Yeah, absolutely.
What it does.
The Owlin will inform
you. I'd
you.
like to ask what both of them do, but
yeah, the Owlin will inform you that the brooch will keep all smoke 1 foot away from the person who wears it. It was made for an asthmatic who instead got cured. And the lightning bolt is essentially will increase your chances of being struck by lightning. Or rather, I should specify that lightning is more likely to, like it's essentially like a, there's like a word for a thing. Yeah, it's essentially like a lightning rod. You don't necessarily have to be holding it to have this effect. It's just more likely to be struck by lightning regardless of its altitude. It doesn't like create a storm, so like there has to be a storm, but if so, it's very likely to be struck by lightning. The Owlin is utterly confused about the purpose of this item, and the person who wanted it never came to pick it up.
Finn is also confused and going to actually ask, but why would one want to be struck by lightning?
To prove that your clothes do not get dirty or ripped. Ega, they're both for you.
I mean, I suppose that they could be an interesting combination. Hoot. I'm not sure if they were attempting to use it as a power source or if they were simply deeply unhappy in their lives and perhaps needed to consult a mental health professional. Hoot. I'm really hoping the former. Hoot.
So for everyone here, this is your weekly reminder to go visit a therapist.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sorry, I sneak them in everywhere I can. What can I say? It's a bad habit.
But a good reminder.
True. Any other folks looking around magic items, by the way?
Like Richard Simmons.
I got
Richard
a 30 and a
there.
33.
Okay. James would see a pair of very fly-looking sunglasses. Like some like sort of like some like wraparound sunglasses kind of thing. Darkened lenses. Like in modern day times, these would be considered probably like douchebag sunglasses, but you know, for the time period that you're in, they look pretty cool. And
listen, James is an asshole, but he's not a douchebag.
yeah. The other thing would be a figurine of a small raven carved out of cherry wood.
What does this carving do?
Well, what you can do is whisper to the raven, and it will count any people that it can see in the immediate area. And it can tell you if it sees 1, 2, 3, or many people.
Okay, Terry Pratchett. We have a troll in the building.
A troll in the dungeon?
That's how trolls count in Terry Pratchett's world.
I know.
1, 2,
I know.
3, many. Many 1, many 2, many 3, many, many.
No, I could see this being very useful if we happen to run into a group who specifically uses... Wait a minute.
I mean, could it count even invisible or hidden people?
I will tell you, it does have a limited perception. So, like it can be useful, but it's not necessarily like auto seeing invisible things.
Been confused as to why anyone would pay for any of these items right now.
You see, if it could see invisible people, there's this very specific reason why I might have wanted it.
Yes, but it can't, so I don't understand.
It can't see invisible people, so what's the point?
Ega, how high can you count?
1.
We need this for Ega.
2. 3. 4.
Ega's better than the crow.
4.
Slightly.
You stole that gag from the Jin video, and you know it. I appreciate it, but I will call you out on it because I
can
know.
only count to 4.
I will call you out on it.
1, 2, 5, 10. Lost count again.
So, Ega counts to 4, and then keeps counting to 4, and then counts to 1. What was it? 1, 2,
1,
5,
2,
and
5,
10?
10. And I lost count again.
The Owlin just sort of blinks and then holds up the statue in its talons and goes,
"Well, I suppose you could have a friend and be in good company. Hoot." Look, people have some very strange requests. I don't know what to tell you. Hoot.
Okay.
Ooh. So, magic item check can be done, right?
Are you, like, asking
yes,
me?
No, Ega's asking the Owlin.
I can tell you what any of these items do.
So I'm grabbing my key ring.
Okay.
Yeah, Finn's going to see that and say, yes, his keyring seems to speak to him in different voices.
One too many voices.
Did you say one too many or one too many?
One too many.
Oh, okay.
I'd be curious to see what enchantments are on this keychain as well.
Well, yes, I could certainly take a look. Where did you find such a thing?
The Owlin will hang it inside the mobile and begin watching the runes spin.
Gifted to me a while ago. Strange person with a hood.
Alright.
Person with a hood?
There are several enchantments on this that I can tell. At least one of them is very high level. Very advanced. I can look at this, but first of all, I might have to take this off the keychain.
And she holds up the crystal on it.
And it might take me a while. You might have to come back for it. May I?
And she, like, tries to, like, she, like, holds, like, she's asking, like, if she can take the crystal off.
No thanks.
No thanks? Does he just take it back?
Yeah.
More. Do you not want to know what's going on with this keychain?
Well, sudden onset paranoia. The keychain's telling me when it's safe, that I'm close to safe. So...
The keychain is lying to you about being safe.
Or not.
I'm saying this in character.
Same.
What if... I mean, it told you that you would be safe with us, and look how many battles and fights you've been in since you started with us.
But I lived.
Not for help from the keychain.
But I lived.
What if a shadow demon told you that you were safe? Would you believe it?
No.
How do you know that a shadow demon isn't what's in the keychain?
'Cause as I grab it back, it's not black.
Minor illusion to make it black.
Sorry, what are you making black?
The keychain.
The crystal on the keychain. Just minor illusion, so it just takes a good old perception check to see through the illusion.
I think that will work. Let me check. roll me.
Magic
Yeah, I guess.
Magic interacting with magic.
I know, right? Give me a sec. I have to check and see if this would work. Jesus Christ.
I think Evect is a menace is like the tagline for this entire campaign at this point.
But now I'm trying to be a helpful menace.
Oh shoot, it's 8:30, guys. We will be back soon.
Okay, sounds good. This is break time now. Mid-session break time.
Also, it's a int investigation versus spell save DC.
Okay.
So what's your spell save DC?
Only 13, so
I failed already.
All right. I will be back.
Assuming it works. So yeah, well, you figured that out. Also, a great moment for anyone in chat to go do some bio stuff.
Yeah. I don't think there's a reason why this wouldn't work. It's... I think it works. I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So I rolled a 12.
Y'all are nuts. Okay.
My investigation is a -2.
Yep.
And the DC is a 13.
For all you know, at least for the time being, as this minor illusion lasts, the gemstone is turned black. And with that, I'm gonna go grab food and ponder my life decisions.
Yes. Dun 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 dun. This is gonna be amazing. So yeah, I do agree. Effect is a menace is basically the entire slogan for this campaign. And I think it's gonna be more trouble the later it gets, because he's gonna get more abilities to mess with me. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, geez, y'all. What am I gonna do with y'all? What am I gonna do?
See,
I don't know, but I'm gonna keep stealing stuff.
I'm in more trouble.
Probably a good plan. Yeah, I want to figure out how to make that bite you all in the ass. Ooh, I need to eat. My brain is like not here.
I really am wondering what I'm going to do.
Well, what are you trying to decide?
Well, last I checked it was purple. Now it's black.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would Aga do?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and well, I should respond to that in a whisper instead.
Alright. Has Aga started attacking?
What'd you say?
Is Aga attacking me yet?
No, I don't think so. Okay, so welcome back.
Sorry we took so long.
Oh, no, you're okay. At least I don't mind. Thinking time for y'all's. I'm just gonna say stuff. I was gonna say bullshit, and then that felt too harsh. So.
No, it's pretty accurate for whatever Effect does.
The minor illusion will be able to take effect.
Yeah, and I failed the DC 13 investigation check.
So the outward appearance of the crystal turns black.
Finn's just gonna stare at it.
No, it wasn't black. shouting. Wants me go. Get back, please. Need to run.
What is Ega doing?
Taking the keychain back. And, running.
Okay.
Because it's not normal, and the keychain shouting to me, and...
Keychain shouting to you?
Yep. Doesn't want this, I need to go.
So, Evect was doing this, like, while the Alan was holding the keychain?
Yeah.
The key ring. Why are we saying keychain? Key ring. It's a key ring. I know words. Key ring. Okay. The Owlin looks really confused as Ega runs out and sort of, like, turns and looks at Evect and goes, like, sort of like, it's almost like, I think, he just, okay. Oot.
Can you tell us anything about the enchantments on that keyring without having gotten to inspect it further? For instance, if it has malicious intent?
That I'm certainly not
say
sure about.
Evect will, not like super quickly, but he will jog after Ega to make sure nothing too terrible happens.
Okay.
He does have a conscience.
I never said what I was going to do when I find him.
You said make sure nothing too terrible happens.
Well, at least not that I didn't cause.
So, the Owlin cannot tell you whether necessarily about the intent of such a thing. How do I put this?
Anything that you can tell us.
Of course. The thing is that I only got a glimpse.
Right.
The strongest enchantment on it by far. Very, very strong abjuration magic. Almost more powerful than anything I've ever seen. It was practically staggering. And aside from that, there is illusion and enchantment. And one more. I can tell you that the keyring itself appears to be some kind of almost like a conduit of some kind. I think evocation, yes. And truthfully, that's all I could tell you. There
bunch of stuff that's on
are different layers on it, and the pieces only complicate it more.
Thank you for that much.
Of course, I'm sorry. Hoot, I wish I could be of more, help. But
I don't think anybody actually paid her for the help that she did give, so I will... How much... Is it just gonna be the 1 gold, or...?
I'll only charge you a gold. In order to completely understand what, that does, I'd likely need, well, at least a day, and probably closer to 10 gold worth, maybe even more, if there's more hidden.
Would he be able to stay nearby during that time if he were to let you do that?
I mean, if you wanted to watch me work or something, that would be no issue at all. Obviously I'd have to be left uninterrupted, and I'd have to be able to, I think, separate the keyring and, well,
so
the
definitely
other
my character is
thing
not
on it,
hearing
the crystal.
anything of what's currently being discussed because I ran out
I'm
of the store.
not certain, but it's possible that both have different types of magic cast upon them. Overall, It had a peculiar feel to it. Very evasive.
Thank you very much. I'll pay her the 1 gold and go after Evect and Ega.
Okay. I assume, like, are all of you leaving to go figure out what's up with that?
I mean, unless James is
Unless
still going
James
on
is
his
staying.
crime spree.
No, I'll come with you.
Okay.
I don't
so I
steal
guess
from shops. Well,
fair enough.
we'll see.
I heard a well, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
okay. So where would Ega have gone? Like, what sort of, like, would Ega have gone anywhere particular? Looked for any sort of place to go?
That way?
I mean,
Are there any stalagmites?
away from the shop at the very least. So probably the other side of town and just run.
Okay. So if Evect took off after Ega, I'm assuming that you both have the same movement speed.
I mean, yeah, I just have a 30 feet.
Same here.
Okay. So you'd be able to keep, like, pace with him if you're, like, are you, like, running after him? Because I guess, is Ega, like, full tilt running?
Yeah, full sprint.
I am doing my best to just maintain line of sight.
Okay. So you'd probably have to, at some point, at least be, like, running to keep up as well, but you could keep him within line of sight for sure. The others after that conversation will probably be a fair bit behind. So are you just gonna, like, follow him?
I'm at this point just seeing where. Like,
okay.
If anything, if he starts losing steam.
So you said he'd run to, like, the other side of town?
Basically.
It's a big town.
I have a high con.
I mean, okay. So I assume you just run until, like, you get...
Either the crystal turns back to purple, or I feel safe, but probably until it turns purple. So if I understand minor illusion enough, that would be if there's more than 30 feet between me and Effect.
Or if he's kind enough to drop it.
Yeah, that too. Or after a minute, I notice, hey, the illusion's gone.
Okay, so after a minute. Okay. So, I guess... Sorry, I'm trying to think about this. So, would Evect be trying to, like, maintain the illusion while Ega's running? Or would he, like, let it go either by distance or...
Oh yeah, it would have worn. Like, I probably would have dropped it as soon as Ega was out the door.
Okay. So, Ega, like, you would be able to, like, you could start running, and then, like, if you looked down at the crystal, it would be purple. Like, you wouldn't probably make it that far then.
Yeah, maybe like 2-3 streets before I realize it's not black. It's not Shadow Demon.
Yeah, probably.
It's
so
okay.
You'd probably make it like a couple of blocks, I guess. At which point, what would you do?
Stop running. And
Okay.
And look around, because I ran in a town I don't know, in a basically blind panic, in a random direction.
Okay. So, I guess if you looked around, you would see Evect catching up to you, presumably. Assuming that Evect would just, like, catch up to him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see your friend, Evect, come jogging up to you. The others are, at this moment, probably still inside the shop. Well, yeah, definitely still inside the shop since they had a whole ass conversation.
Yeah. Shop strange. Turn crystal black. See, as I hold it up, should be this, should be purple.
Today, he knows his colors. Or at least one of them.
Yeah, I'm not completely color.
So, what does this keychain mean to you?
Points me to safety. Also, dogs like sister.
And this shadow demon?
Oh yeah, they're after me.
And
not now.
They aren't the same person?
No. Sister's an orc, not a shadow demon.
I didn't know orcs lived in crystals.
Just the sound. Think sister's still in kindness. Also, maybe Dream Lady got mad.
Can I see? Not touch, just see.
Yes. As I hold up the key ring with the crystal keychain thing.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yes. On like the crystal?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell anything specific about it?
No. Just trying to feel out if it gives me any magic heebie-jeebies.
Okay.
And I am going to guess probably not. I think that is going to be a total of 12. Yep.
You cannot really tell from looking at it much about it. It sort of gives off a soft purple glow. It does have a rather dynamic appearance. It almost sort of has like a swirling appearance to it, like it's hollow but like filled with like some kind of smoke or something. You're not really sure what else is up with it.
So, I don't know much about these things, but I agree with our friend Finn that maybe not now, but at some point, someone like the nice Owlin might need to look at that.
But it started shouting. Not remove the crystal. Also, no praise, please.
That might be a little bit why when somebody when someone on stage says don't look here, that means that's where something's happening. And I'll at this point just take a look around, and is there an inn or anything close by?
Is there an inn or anything close by? Yeah, you would absolutely be able to find one. And I'll say I won't even make you roll me like a check of some kind for that. they'd be plentiful enough in this town. So the closest one would actually be probably like essentially one of like the main inns of the town. And it would be a rather obvious, large, and garish looking building. In particular, it would have like the image of a banana over the door.
Okay, but what is the name of it?
What would be the name of this? Oh, God. I had not come up with a name. Give me a second. I have to think about this. The Banana Bonanza. That's the name of it right there. The Banana Bonanza. So, would you all, or yeah, so, okay. So, go ahead, sorry.
Why don't we go in here, settle down for a bit, and I will go back and find our friends.
Okay.
I'm not going to run away?
No. Keychain's no longer shouting. Not black. All good.
Okay. So, the others would likely, hopefully, be catching up around this time after their conversation. So would Evect be sending Ega, like, on ahead, basically, to the, inn?
I would probably go in and set him at a table.
Okay.
And then come back out and wander in the direction of the shop.
Okay.
I have faith that Ega might stay where sat.
Okay.
Like a certain barbarian friend we know.
Hey, as long as no one attacks me, I'll just sit there. Yes.
Okay. So Ega will stay put. As you go in, I'll describe, like, you know, the appearance when everyone comes back. If you wander back towards the shop, you would presumably be able to find the others leaving to come find you and be like, oh hello, oh hello. So, what y'all gonna do?
So, what do you know about this whole voices thing?
He says that there are many voices that he's heard in the from the keyring. The only one that he knows the identity of is his sister. The others he calls Dream Lady, which is apparently someone who has also appeared to him in a dream. I'm not sure if it came from the keyring or the dream first. Or am I? No, you did tell me that. I just don't remember. Deanna doesn't remember. Finn would remember, because it's only been a day for Finn.
So, I think what I said was that the Dream Lady gave it to me and then showed up in a dream as well.
Okay. And he's heard other voices that he can't identify as anyone specific. They tell him where to go to be safe. And they were why he came to the king's errand where we met. And until now, giving a significant glare at Yvette, the Shadow Demon was a different fear, completely separate from the keyring.
Yeah, you would have no clue that I was the one that actually did it.
I feel like I might suspect, considering how Yvette has been treating Ega. I have a little bit of insight.
I was gonna say, roll me deception versus insight. If you will. You're saying it as sarcastically as it sounds. Roll it with disadvantage, but I won't really make you do that. Okay. Alright.
It is an 18.
23.
23. I mean, is Yvette saying it sincere? Like, is he really trying to fool her? Like, nah, I had nothing to do with that.
Sure, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that asshole that you see.
Okay. So basically denying anything to do with it. I suppose... I mean, okay. Let me, like, back the fuck up here. Wait. I mean, I don't... Is it really entirely Yvette's fault that he now associates these things? I shouldn't be asking, he's your DM, but...
I'm not necessarily saying that it's his fault that he associates them. I'm just saying that until now, these were two completely separate things, and now they have been somehow connected.
I will say, I don't know, man. If X pulled some fuckery, it's probably not his fault. Ega's kind of fucked up in the head. That would be the conclusion I would draw from that contest, I suppose.
Oh. Either way, that is what I...
Either way.
The shopkeep also said that there was a lot of different magic on the keyring and the crystal. They're not really able to discern which one is which. They could be two completely separate things, or they could be somehow both enchanted with the same. That it would take a day for them to find out which. That's all there is.
And this is all still happening outside of my
This
perception.
is. You're like parked at like a table inside this place. Like again, unless you think that Ega would get up, but Ega would have, I assume, basically been like led inside and told to like stay. Yeah, basically like, all right, you go in there and sit. Like while the adults talk is how I imagine that would have gone down.
Basically.
I would have ordered him an ale.
Sorry, you would.
Oh, cool! I have a free ale.
You would indeed be able to have an ale. Importantly, I will say you would have the choice, depending on, well, I suppose, I don't know if Yvette ordered for you. You would have the choice between regular flavored ale and banana flavored ale.
You pork banana.
I was gonna say Yvette would have veered for banana.
You will have a banana flavored ale. Okay. So, basically, Finn just filled Yvette in on, like, what the deal is. What are y'all gonna do now?
Go into the tavern, I suppose. Or the inn, sorry.
Okay. So.
Do we have, did James get to us?
He was with you in the shop, so.
I believe James was was there for the conversation about what spells were on the key ring and crystal, and left with you. That is my understanding. Is that correct, Kira? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I haven't. I sort of like. I've not been saying a word in the past couple of minutes.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I also was like a little bit distracted during that part, and I apologize. I promise I'm running like 7 different threads, and I'm paying attention. There's more going on. I can't explain what the more is, but there's things. There's things happening. So, you all are able to go find your lost dumb orc, formerly lost, now in daycare. So.
I wish
as
daycare was like this when I was in daycare. Sit here, have this booze.
So, the Banana Bonanza is an like oddly cheerful little, like almost like a cafe. Like it's almost more like a cafe than like it's more like an inn cafe than like a tavern. It is large, it is obvious, and it is yellow, like inside and outside. Like when you walk in, if you've ever walked into like a crazy cat lady's house and like everything inside is cat themed, like you walk inside and there are like, bunches of bananas hanging from the ceiling. There are paintings and murals on the walls of bananas. There's like, banana plates. You see people eating various food items that contain bananas. And the barkeep herself has like essentially like kind of a banana outfit on. Like, she has like banana bracelets, and there's bananas on her dress. And she has like almost like a straw hat that's like covered in fruit.
See, when you said banana outfit, the first thing I went to was like one of those banana mascots.
Same.
No. It's more like the outfit is extremely adorned with bananas. Like it's just going into like a crazy cat lady's house, except everything is bananas instead. But she appears to be pretty busy and doesn't like immediately greet you all as you walk in. But you see Ega sitting at, I'd imagine, probably a corner table, so he doesn't have to look behind him. Nursing his banana ale.
Good luck. Good luck.
By the way, roll me a... Ooh, for Ega, roll me like a con... I'm just gonna say... I'll be nice. Roll me a con save.
That's a 20.
Cool. The banana ale is absolutely delicious. Is Ega doing anything particular aside from drinking as they walk in?
No, I'm just sitting there drinking.
Cool. So, a little bit after you all sit down, the barkeep slash waitress, who is an astral elf, will come by and ask you if there's anything you'd like.
Who is a what? Sorry?
An astral elf.
Astral elf.
Oh, fancy.
Mm-hmm. It is very fancy.
I will have a regular ale, please.
All right, just a regular ale. What about for the rest of you? Can I interest you in any banana flapjacks? More banana ale?
Another
regular ale? More banana ale for you? All right.
Yes, I'll have one as well.
Of the banana ales?
Those banana flapjacks sounded lovely.
Oh, absolutely. Did you want them with the butter or without?
With butter, please.
Of course, absolutely.
Now I want banana pancakes.
I'll take something a little stronger.
Oh, a little stronger. Looking for real spirits here?
That'll do.
All right, well, if I can recommend, we do have a fantastic banana liqueur that might interest you.
I'll pass on the bananas for now.
All right, well, hopefully rum will do. I think that's the rest that we've got. I might be able to dig up some bottle of something weird, but hopefully, will that work for you, sir?
Aye.
All right. Rum, banana ale, flapjacks. I'll be right back.
And a normal ale.
Wait, who's ordering the normal ale?
I wanted a regular ale.
Oh, right, sorry, you wanted a regular ale. All right.
And the regular ale. Can't forget.
She will bustle away, leaving you all sitting for a moment in either, depending on your perspective, banana paradise or banana hell. Either way, it is exceptionally banana. Pretty much everything is painted a violent shade of yellow. And there are various banana decorations on each table. So,
Finn just looks gray and dull next to all of this.
Well, I suppose the yellow would wash them out. You're not wrong.
Speaking as someone that the yellow washes out, yes. Yes, it would.
He's fine. Just means you're boring.
Finn's okay with that. Finn does not try to be interesting.
Fair enough. You all essentially, like, took off from the magic appraisal shop. I will say, because these are definitely a thing in the midst of all of this, you probably would have had to tie up your horses outside. So someone may have to go board the horses. Either that, you could probably also do that later before you all eventually head off to bed if you want. Aside from that,
available here?
Yes. If you want, you could probably ask the astral elf about it. And she would be able to tell you, in fact, that there are rooms here, and they just run you pretty regular 1 gold a night. There are no banana-free rooms, is the only thing worth noting. In other words, if you dislike bananas very strongly, this may not be the place for you.
They would write in their character sheet that they were allergic to bananas, because we could be in trouble.
Valid question.
I actually have a friend who is.
There's literally hundreds of us.
I don't think anybody did. I think we're good.
So
I don't go that deep with character creation.
All right. So I'm left with what do you all do now? So there's the question of what y'all are doing for the moment. You will probably get your ales and such in a moment. Now we're just gonna start with the moment because I'll extrapolate out in a minute. Is there anything particular that your characters do while you wait? Is y'all's plan just to, like, essentially, like, get a room for the night and continue on tomorrow? Is there a plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Part of any of this makes it seem like we have plans.
Right, there's that.
I know. Okay. True.
So, just so you stream can see, this is the astral elf with the banana.
After a little bit, you all be able to get your food. For those of you consuming the banana stuff, it is particularly delicious. Everything else tastes alright. The rum and regular ale are pretty alright, but certainly pale in comparison to the banana sustenance. So
sustenance.
There are obviously other tables around you. You hear a group of dwarves that seem to be gossiping at a nearby round table over their banana flapjacks. Aside from that, it's just seems to be a lot of tradespeople coming in at the end of the day. Honestly, fairly similar to the previous bar you were at. It's certainly a lot less rowdy and a lot more intellectual, for lack of a better term. You might see people like even poring over like books and discussing theories of how to do certain things. It's almost more like being in like a college town or something like that. So, anything particular y'all want to do? You can listen to gossip if you want. Aside from that, obviously, like, you have the company of each other. You could go board the horses eventually.
Listen, James doesn't deal with horses very often.
Ega, sorry for running.
I don't want you to lose your keyring. I understand how important it is. I just want to make sure that we know what is traveling with all of us.
Well,
the shopkeeper said that you could stay and watch her work if you would let her look at the keyring again.
Keyring said no.
I understand.
Also turned black. That was new.
Maybe it's just the first time or you caught it being black.
You're really not helping.
Well, yeah. Don't know. Maybe. Not sure. Though. Black not good, I think. Purple seems calming.
Would I don't really know the word calming, but fine. I'll let it slide.
It's the only big word they know.
The only big word,
guys? Come on.
Calming is like 7 letters. That's okay.
7 letters, 2 whole syllables.
Okay, granted, my 8-year-old can read better than Ega too, but still.
True, you're not wrong. All right.
Otherwise, I had to think too long and say something like, "Purple make Ega feel good," and that could just be described as weird because what kind of feel good?
Oh y'all, what am I gonna do with y'all? Fair enough.
Need I remind you, you asked for this.
I did ask for this. This is true. No, I feel bad because I'm like just having like so many mental error messages here of like, okay, oh god.
You're good.
Okay. So. I will say, at some point, someone will probably have to go board the horses. Who is going to board?
If no one else does, Finn will.
Okay.
I'll probably help, because 2 people putting horses away is probably better than 1 person, especially since it's 4 horses.
All right. Would you all do anything particular prior to that point? I won't make you do anything, but obviously if there's anything you would like to do at the end, you can.
Why, yes. I shall eat another chicken nuts.
Okay, roll me a luck check.
That's a 12.
Well, all right. The chicken nut's pretty good. You know, I mean, it's like tough, it's chewy, salty, but it's almost sort of like regular meat.
Hooray.
A little bit, maybe. Could be worse.
No delusions today.
No delusions today. You win.
And it tastes great with this banana ale.
Yes, the banana ale makes it for a surprisingly good combination, I can say that much.
Salty. That makes sense.
There are worse things. Okay. So, at some point, the inn would probably like mid-evening, begin emptying out. The dwarves gossiping at the table next to you, would probably get up and filter out eventually. And this would probably be your cue to go board the horses.
Okay.
Okay. So, Ega and Finn are going to board the horses. Are Evect and Kira staying and like just hanging out at the inn?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I might do the same thing that we did last time.
Any weird nonsense going on in your head?
In my head?
Yeah, we've got Finn and crew. We've got Ega and crew. I want to know how many our party actually has.
Well, I can't say
you got
I have
plus
the...
one up there?
I can't say I have the same... I can't say I can relate to them. But we all have our own demons.
Okay, so that's at least 2 demons in the party.
And yourself? I mean...
And you'll see Evect kind of shift a little uneasily and start massaging the back of his just rubbing his thumb over the back of his prosthetic hand, where you will notice that because you were the one that took over my body for that whole swap bit, right?
Yeah.
So now embedded kind of where a ring might be on that middle finger, there is a very long rhombus shape of an emerald embedded in that middle knuckle. And you can see me just kind of fidgeting with it.
It's alright, buddy. Oddly enough, I can say, well, besides living without yours, I can say I know a thing or two about the old prosthetic limb.
So, when you were me, what did it feel like?
Well...
when you touched?
Very different. Although not so different at the same time.
Sometimes I don't even really think what I feel with my left hand is real anymore. I just feel with this. And he goes back to massaging that emerald that, again, you're fairly certain was not there when you were a part of, when you
No,
were
I
in the
don't
body.
believe I remember it. So how'd you lose it?
I told the story at the last inn. Was fighting ogre in training and got him little too mad. Don't know how it happened.
Alright. If you ever think you're ready to share a good old tale.
My life was pretty boring before that. I did some show bouts, did okay for myself. But after that I couldn't fight. And got scooped up by a carnival. And eventually one of the little circus girls brought me this arm. And when I started feeling myself a little bit more, I decided to head out and see what else I can find in the world. See if maybe I can find a different bit of me to replace what
well,
isn't me anymore.
Can't say the circus was the right life for you, although can't say it's any different with this old group right here.
Oh, these guys are much easier to fool than the circus people.
If I could hear you, I'd be offended.
But he's still not
Milo,
wrong.
you're muted.
I figured it out. But would Ega even know that Evect is referring to him if it's so indirect?
You're right, I probably wouldn't. If I understood
Exactly.
If I understood you, I'd be offended.
There you go. Now he's got it.
Well, is there anything behind that old arm of yours? I'd say a dark tail, for a dark tail is in order.
Wait, what did you say?
So if you ever find find the story for that limb, I'd say a dark tail for a dark tail is in order.
No, I think we've had enough excitement for tonight. Now it's time for bananas.
Yeah.
As you say this, by the way, some of the like seemingly like regular patrons of the inn like raise their mugs like 2 bananas, and you see like the astral elf like pop up from behind the counter and go 4 bananas.
We accidentally went to a cultist hideout, didn't we?
Yeah. We'll deal with that later. I'm not saying that there's a cult, but you know, who knows.
You know, I'm starting to believe that next time we start this up, everyone's gonna be addicted to bananas, and like the 2 of us who didn't eat bananas are gonna be the only sane ones.
Roll to save versus bananas.
Yeah. It's gonna be like the chicken nuts all over again.
Dealing with those.
Yeah, I just throw weird foods at you guys. That's actually all this campaign is about. Is just like slowly, like, I don't know. Now that I think about it, this has been weirdly like, food centric.
This is secretly the fantasy plot to Guy Fieri's show.
One last time to Flavor Town.
Flavor Town fucked up edition. Flavor Town mentally ill edition. Okay.
So Guy Fieri meets Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Got it.
Yeah, actually, just about.
It really is Flavor Town.
Flavor Town with a side of needing therapy. Okay. So, I will say before I forget, y'all were gonna go board the horses.
Yes.
So, you are able to go outside, and I'm just gonna assume, like, I assume that there would be places to tie up horses outside this inn, and there are now because that's gonna be what happened. And you all can go, untie the horses.
So I assume we're each mounting one and leading another.
That is how I would assume you would do this, unless you wanted to lead them all by foot.
So when I get up on my horse and am leading one of the others, like as soon as I get up and kind of away from the inn, I'm going to kind of like freeze, like just go completely still, and my skin is going to get darker, and I have to remember descriptions. My skin is going to get darker, which is to say get any color at all, because Finn is like white. And I have and freckles pop up on my face. My hair gets goes from short and white to soft brown curls, and my eyes go dark brown, and you are now looking at Roisin, who is looking down at the horse that she is riding with just the pure joy of a child who asked for a pony for Christmas and actually got one.
So do we do sanity checks?
I
feel
mean,
like we need to...
Sorry, but someone literally just shapeshifted right in front of me.
This isn't the first
what
time
would Ega think?
you've seen it.
No, but it's the first time I've seen you actually shift.
Yes, no, it's not. When we were in with the fountain and Dorfin, whatever.
The rest of us were knocked out because of that.
No, you came to, and then I shifted. You saw me go from.
Oh.
I think Finn again, actually. Finn just keeps getting pushed out to Struthon, which is probably good. He's a better fighter. But yes.
I mean,
this is not the first time, but it may be that you were a little preoccupied with, I'm not in my own body, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm suddenly...
he went from being himself to...
James.
Yeah.
Like,
so... Being half his size?
impaled on the groin, near as I could tell? Like...
Basically,
he's the
yes.
one who fell, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
yes.
you pretty much wore out the pain for me at that point.
Good thing I'm too dumb to feel pain.
See, it was actually a blessing in disguise. Instead of, radiating groin pain, just make Ega deal with it. Easy. Problem solved.
It was
so
totally intentional.
100%.
Roisin looks down and just squeeze with delight.
I will say, even if Ega didn't pay that much attention to the shift before, I mean, he would be seeing, like, a person that he knows, who he knows is sometimes a different person, change into a different person that he also knows.
Yes.
I feel like Ega just thinks that there's 4 party members.
Yeah,
they
just share a room.
One of them just turned into the other one. I mean, look, I don't know how Ega would interpret this, but I'm assuming that it wouldn't be outright hostility, and there'd be some level of understanding around, like... It's not like this isn't someone that you know.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you know Roisin. You have actually gotten to know.
You know Finn.
Roisin.
You know Roisin.
Yes.
You just saw Finn become Roisin. I don't know what you're gonna do with that information, but
same.
There you go. And just Roisin has not even acknowledged you. She's just horsey.
Also, like how I was with the bear.
Yes, basically. So you
Except
do indeed
slightly
see.
more intelligently.
Yeah.
Just
you do indeed see Rasheen like look down at the horse and be sort of fawning over it. I assume petting it. I don't know. Whatever people do with horses.
You really don't know horses, do you, Milo?
No, I don't. I'm not a horse girl. I just hung out with the horse girls. I don't know horses. I rode a horse once and it was scary. It moved in ways I didn't understand. I almost fell off. I didn't almost fall off, but it felt like I was going to.
I used to jump them.
Oh, I could never.
That's some pretty strong legs that you have then.
Used to. But yeah, she's leaning down and hugging around the neck and petting, and the other horse whose reins she's holding in her hands is just kind of getting pulled along.
Would I say anything in particular about that? If not, that's all right.
Wait, do I even know where we need to bring the horses?
Shit.
Valid question. So I was going to have someone roll me an investigation check. I'm gonna say.
So how about a 0?
Let's try that. 0.
Yes.
You say. Rasheen?
Would have been Finn who rolled, but I guess
Okay.
Rasheen will try again.
I guess Rasheen would probably understand that you have to return the horses. I hope. I don't know. Or actually, she might just be like, where the fuck did these horses come? Actually, would Rasheen even know or care that you're supposed to return the horses? No, probably not. Horses.
She would just think she was given horses. 2 of them, for some strange reason.
So, between a 0 and a child, where would you take these horses?
Home.
Home?
The banana bar. Back to the banana bar.
Yeah, but Rasheen also doesn't know about the banana bar.
No, but I do.
Why did we? This was the worst idea. We sent the person who doesn't know anything with the person who changes their memory at midnight. Why did we do this?
I don't know.
To be fair, you guys don't necessarily understand that I don't have memories of the others yet.
And it isn't really...
Or why I change. Like, you have no idea when...
And
Finn has been there for 2 days.
And the changes, at least, seem to mostly happen over sleep.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Except when they
I'm fully
don't.
expecting the combat situation where suddenly we have a different person doing combat, and
Again,
they
you
don't know what
already
the hell's
did.
going on. Wait,
You
that did
already
happen in
did.
combat?
That is exactly what happened at the beginning. Like, Dorfin, whatever, like, popped all you guys into different bodies, and then you woke up and you started freaking out, and then I changed. And then we went into battle.
Oh yeah,
it took a
you
bit
did
before
change
we
her
went
now,
into
yeah.
battle, I think. But
I changed right before we went into battle.
True.
Which is probably good, because Sruthon is the one you want in battle.
Okay. So, I guess
I am
Rasheen
hopefully
doesn't really know.
I am hopefully smart
It's
enough
just
to
riding horses. So I will say, we're probably going to come back to this next time, but just so I can have this for reference, where do you think Ega would think that stables are?
I can follow my nose again.
With a 0 on his investigation check. I mean, but you didn't roll a nat 1, right? You rolled
No,
like a 2?
I rolled a 2. And I have a
Okay.
-2 in intelligence.
Right. Yes.
It could be worse then.
Yeah, exactly. I could have rolled a -2. Well, -1, but...
I'm picturing Ega going to the edge of town, smacking the horses on their backside and letting them run off.
Roshin would never let him do that.
So, actually, okay, I have an idea. Here's what I think we're gonna do.
I'm sorry, guys. I did not realize the chaos I was starting here.
Place where the
And no, I
horses
did not
were
actually
before
just choose to shift, but...
smelled bad and had grass. So clearly, we must be taking the horses to a place that smells bad and has grass, right? Clear, obvious, right? Okay, cool.
Sounds reasonable, yes.
I have to step into the mind of the moron. I must moronify my own thought process in an attempt to understand the stupid. So, Rasheen, Ega, I assume you would be like following Ega or just, I don't know, horses and...
Yeah.
See, my plan was actually to follow Finn.
Yeah, I figured that would be.
So would your plan still be to follow her now, Rasheen?
Well, now that... So, for the first part, yes. Until I realized that we're not actually going anywhere.
Okay, and then you would attempt to lead to the stables.
Oh no, then I wouldn't even try to lead. I would just straight up not know where they are. So I would just ask if they know where we're supposed to bring the horses. And hopefully find my way back to the tavern to get Evect or James to actually do...
Okay.
Because Ega knows that he doesn't know things, but he also knows that other people might know things.
Okay.
If Rasheen is told stable, then she can actually, you know...
So I guess, what would Ega have asked Rasheen?
Ask where to find them?
Yeah.
What would Ega have asked Rasheen specifically?
Something like, do you know where the stables are, or for the horses?
No, but I'm sure we could figure it out. Are there people around?
If you wanted to ask a person, you absolutely could.
I will
also,
go and find someone to ask.
Don't we have that letter that says that the horses were hired from Ancaster so they didn't have to get paid for when we boarded them?
Yes.
Would Ega remember that?
No.
Yeah,
also,
Rasheen
who would have had the letter is the better question. Who would have been trusted to hold on to that out of
probably the person
Finn
that
was the one doing the talking.
I was about to say, probably the person
that
actually...
Finn doesn't do the talking.
It would probably be with Rasheen. However, Rasheen would not know of the paper's existence is the issue. However,
can I roll to remember?
You all know the...
I just need to know there's a paper.
Just roll a history check. Nice and easy. Yep.
Do y'all know the puzzle about the two generals? This is basically what that is.
A 14 to remember that there's a piece of paper.
There's a piece of paper. It tells them that you didn't steal the horses. Thieves bad. You paid money for those horses.
We pay.
Paper means money to the other stable people.
Yes.
So, any friendly passerby...
Would Ega mention that paper to Rasheen?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Because I hope maybe that there's some sort of directions.
Any friendly passerby would indeed be able to tell you where the stables for this town are. They would probably be willing to lead you to them if you seem particularly lost. Otherwise, they could give you directions. Okay. I will say you will likely be able to find someone to lead you to the stables. I'm gonna think about what's gonna happen with that, and we'll find out what happens next time on Dragon Ball Z. So don't take a long rest yet, because frankly, we're gonna find out what happens with all this. And fuck, that's D&D. I don't know.
That's D&D.
Da 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 da.
Oh my god. Okay.
I didn't cause the worst chaos today.
No, I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I have
one.
seemed so slow and stupid. Okay, I bought my best.
No.
I feel like I've seemed so slow and stupid. And you have to understand that, like, I'm trying not to spoil the entire campaign, and y'all have asked, like, the most brain-bending questions without even realizing it. And I've literally just been sitting over here the entire time, like, what the fuck do I do? Which is good. It's good. It's good. I just apologize if half the time I've just been like...
From your reaction from earlier, I feel like us stealing that sword may very well bite us in the ass, because that was a very, presumably, very rich person who, from the context of earlier, may cause the genocide of a lot of people. Who knows?
Not with the sword, though.
Yeah,
That's the attack.
that
Not
will
with the
probably
sword.
come back in some form or fashion. I just have to figure that out. I could not figure. I with everything accounted for, I could not figure out how to wrap that one back around in this session. But hey, who knows?
Alright, so note to self: get something with that requires a wisdom save. I doubt they're that wise.
Not the worst idea.
What was
Also,
his name?
Good question.
What was his name?
He did mention it, so it must.
He mentioned it like 4 times for sure.
I
But
feel
to
like
be fair, I
they
haven't
just.
posted the art of him, which would.
I feel like they're just one of those people. It's like you just want to forget their name.
No, it was just a name that was just really, well, pompous and annoying like him.
It was at least a 3-part name.
All I know is that hey, I'm rich now. I got 30 gold.
Yes, look at me with my fancy sword that I can barely hold up.
I won't worry
Well,
about
you
his
gave that away
companions
now.
since they did not prominently feature, but
well,
I will
with
post art of this dude.
With a pompous dude like that, who needs to be featured, right?
I wonder how much that sword would have sold for.
See?
Quite a bit. It was reasonably
was a pompous
valuable.
name.
I was rather astonished that you all gave it away.
Well, no one stopped me. Is more of the point.
When I went to interrupt, I was going to try to take it back, but then I was like, you know what? I'll let them have this. I'll let the poor boy have this.
I was gonna say, I hope I didn't like cut you off as a DM.
No, I was just like, you know what? They can have this.
See, I also think I did a good thing by not saying that you were the thief.
Well, we already established that you were the thief.
No,
I just thought Ega genuinely believed that the guy had stolen it. Like, I just assumed that was the case. Like, he had genuinely thought because of the guards that the dude had stolen the sword, which he had not. That was his sword.
Let's go with that narrative. My narrative was just, it's a stolen sword. Stolen goods go to the guards. The guards will take care of it.
The fact that
Milo,
there's a world...
we have not had any issue with you being out of it tonight or anything else.
Thank you.
You've been an awesome DM tonight.
No, I just... Thank you.
I would apologize for the chaos,
I shouldn't
but you
keep
brought
saying
it
that I
on
feel
yourself.
bad. No, I appreciate it, and I love you all. My brain is just slow and had to be... Anyway, I just... Thank you for being patient with me and my level of... I have not felt like this since it was 2 a.m. and I was trying to run the race between the TARDIS and the Tabaxi. Believe it or not, this required a similar level of brain power. Believe it or not, it did. And that involved time travel and piloting checks and affecting the past and the future when they fucked up the TARDIS and it went into major fucking events in the Forgotten Realms and changed the entire... It was way too much. Actually, wasn't that...
Now
this
I
was
want to know
not
how a
as bad as that. That
TARDIS
was
got into
coerced.
D&D.
Okay, it was supposed to, okay, fine. So it was supposed to be, so it was a Doctor Who themed one shot, okay, and that was supposed to be like, you know, their final prize, and they could go do some fun fucky shit with it that they could imagine on their own. And no, because you want to know what happened? They also got prize money. And guess what happened? The Tabaxi decided to steal everyone's prize money and run. But he didn't wait for the other prize, which was the TARDIS. Like somehow he only took the money and not the TARDIS. So then the other group got the TARDIS, and then found out that the Tabaxi had stolen all of their money that they were supposed to get. So logically, they're like, all right, well, we're just gonna hop in this shit and go find him. And so it was a speed build Tabaxi. Like that Tabaxi was built to move at like 120 feet in a round or something like that. Like it was fucking insane. Like the entire like character like was min-maxed to go fast.
Oh, so like then, how I can make an adventure with only the mobile feed.
Yes. So the problem is that they had to use the TARDIS because they would have never caught him on foot. It would not have been possible. The Tabaxi moves too fast. So they had to use the TARDIS to move in time and space to try and predict where the Tabaxi was, And they had to make like piloting checks to use the TARDIS because I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna run this with any element of skill? Well, fuck, I don't know. I guess I'll just make them make piloting checks. What is that? I don't know. We're gonna make it up. And then before I know it, they like are going back into the fucking spell plague, and I'm like, this was supposed to be the end. This was supposed to be the end of the one. This was supposed to be in the one shot, and the one shot went another 3 hours before they eventually cornered the Tabaxi and took their money back, and I think killed him. And it was seriously like fucking 2 a.m. or 2 like there was a whole entire part where they like were almost caught up to the Tabaxi, but the Tabaxi kept looping them around the same fucking city block, and they couldn't get him with their fucking TARDIS, and I'm just sitting over here like, this is the last time I give them a time travel machine. This is the last time.
I would just stolen the money before the Tabaxi stole it, and then it would have created a paradox. And then, bam, problem solved.
And probably the universe erased. Depending on how the paradoxes are solved.
They think that the Tabaxi still stole it, because because no one knows a time traveler stole it, so they think Tabaxi stole it. So like, oh, we'll just go take the money back from the past. And then it keeps looping. And then, bam, problem solved.
Except that if they stole it, then they have it, and so it wasn't stolen
But
at
then
all.
there would have been no reason for them to go back and steal it.
So either you create a looping paradox, or you create an active time loop where they keep going back.
This is under
from
the
the same...
assumption that actions in the past change the present. So they still think the Tabaxi stole it.
No,
but
actions in the past change the present is what the money's will create. Still missing. That creates the paradox. Where
guys, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep track of 4 different personalities. I can't do more than that.
You know what? I'm just gonna suffice it to say, I thought that was the worst that the end of that one shot could get, and thank you all for proving to me that it actually could have been. In fact, actually, no, the time loop would have been easier because then I would have just immediately said fuck this, and then been like, all right, well, that's the end of that. You've created an infinite time loop. Jesus fucking Christ. And this is why you guys don't get a time machine. This is why no one ever in my games gets a time machine ever the fuck again. You're lucky if you get a machine that lets you move in space. I guess that's what a horse is. Fine.
Technically,
Rasheen would have a blast with the TARDIS.
Technically, everything's a time machine. It just only goes forward.
She'd go to all the fairylands.
1 second at a time.
Life, a time machine that moves forward 1 second at a time. Morals from D&D. Yep.
No.
I'm gonna quickly end stream, so
yeah,
they don't get
do
more
that.
confused.
I mean, but do we really want to deprive the world of what Evect could do with a time machine?
Jeez.
Honestly, I think the world is better off if Evect does never have access to a time machine.
I'm gonna frankly agree with that because based on what's happened so
Thank
far.
Thank you for showing up. If you like, leave a follow.
I don't know,
if
man.
You really enjoyed,
I wouldn't actually do it.
Subscribing.
I get to push the
Hold
buttons.
on. No, this stream is gonna come back on we mentioned it at the start at January 6th. So yeah, until then, I'll probably do a bunch of streams in the meantime because I'm not gonna do any Christmas stuff anyway. Hope you all have a wonderful time. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. The one for the Muslims, I can't for the life of me remember the name, but I hope they also have a great time. And see y'all next stream.